happened last time on Evrand. It was kind of like a wonky, I wouldn't even almost call it a real episode. Part of me doesn't want to, because then that sets us back to 52 now, and there's still 2 episodes to kill them all. But it started off more as a discussion between Pat and I.
51.5.
It kind of was 51.5. It started off as a conversation between Pat and I about how, like, I'm in a really big pickle in this scenario. Because Rev died. I don't want to cheapen Rev's sacrifice to be like, oh, and the merchant vessel shows up and they're like, hey guys, want to come aboard and have great food and we'll drop you off wherever you want to go and here's some gold. Bye.
Bye.
So I didn't want to do that. Yeah, right, exactly. So I didn't want to ruin Rev's sacrifice by immediately removing the danger. Because that feels wrong.
That's fair.
Also, the scenario, I like to think that for the most part I've cultivated a more, there's humor and things that come up as the course of all D&D games, but it's got a more realistic-ish tone as far as the Dungeons & Dragons game goes, so the very real possibility you guys are all going to die of frostbite, or hypothermia, or exhaustion, just, it's only 7 levels to death, and you guys are approaching 1 at that point. Or creatures in the sea, because if you can't heal with a long rest, little shark bites here and there over time are just going to slowly knock you down.
And we weren't in good shape to begin with.
That is also true. Yeah, I mean, Rick was barely alive.
Yeah.
So...
Wave probably would have been okay.
He could have.
About it, he's cold resistant.
Yeah, he could have.
He's
How
got
long
swim
could I
speed.
have
He can
run
be underwater.
on top of the water?
If anybody was going to live through that, it was going to be him.
You could run on the water
until
you physically couldn't run anymore. Because once you stop running, you sink.
Yeah.
So you could run to the extent of how far you could run. And I don't actually know what that is, because it's never come up. We would have dealt with that.
That would have been interesting.
That would have been an interesting scenario. So anyway, we talked through...
Take the piece of wood, put it on my back, run when I'm tired.
I had Pat roll some dice. We looked at what the internet wanted you to do. And yeah, it was going to be challenging, to say the least. Because sharks would have already started from the amount of dead bodies and blood and things in the water. And then, whatever other scenarios would have happened. Plus, depending on how the current is, you guys may be going further away from shore versus going towards it.
Yeah.
And, where you are, no spells. Yeah. So we had a long discussion about that, and it's just like, and then it's like, well, what if in this process of us going through this, like, Rick dies? And then it's just like, okay, so now we're down 2 characters. Are we at the point where do we scrap it? Or do we try to introduce 2 wholly brand new characters who are less invested in the story? And do we, start over? What do we do? So we went through that discussion, and we both kind of landed on, we'd like to see things keep going, but if they didn't, that'd be okay too. And that's kind of where we landed. And then he's like, fucking the ring. And he's like, what would a Valeguard ring? And then they saved the party. So the party, activated their once a month, which the only way I could have prevented that would have been had that been used, but it hadn't been. Use their once a month teleport to teleport back to Valeguard Spire. And that's pretty much where we ended it. Apparently, we're probably not going to get another predator to help them, but I mean,
God, I hope not.
Anything is possible.
Why, internet, do you want to see us die?
Have you met the internet? They have this thing where they like to it's called trolling.
Is that where you fight a lot of trolls?
Yeah, is that where you
Never
Don't give them any ideas.
They donate money?
Because all of a sudden it's going to be like, and then the adamantine trolls arrive.
All right. Oh, didn't think they'd be adamantine.
That's get you every time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, you guys have all arrived at where you were HP wise, item wise, everything. You have bamped onto the teleportation mosaics on the top of Valeguard Spire. So drastic shift to that, and you guys kind of have that sea legs moment where you've been kind of at sea for a couple days. You've literally been drifting in the water, and then all of a sudden, poof, you're on land. At the top of a tower, nice, crisp autumn air or wintertime air. Probably cold, except for you. And here you are.
What a trip, man.
I'm
Wow.
gonna throw up. I think.
That was all a complete waste.
Right here on the top or off the side?
I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna stumble to the side and throw up off the side.
Well, as you throw up off the side, Predator. No. I'm just As you throw up off the side, you actually get a good view of Valeguard Keep, as it were, here. So you can see that you guys have been gone for a fair few days, and you've been sending money, and you sent money back here.
And a dinosaur.
And a dinosaur, and a trainer.
A few dinosaurs.
A few dinosaurs, yeah.
A
There
ring
i-
that produces gems.
and a ring that produces gems, which we do have some days in the midst that we'll have to roll for. Maybe we'll just take care of that on the break. But there is a significant headway made on the reconstruction of the area. You would say roughly about a third of things have been refined. There goes Jake and his porn.
No, that was the coffee, guys. That was I'm making a cup with the Keurig.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too, bro.
Certainly not the tacos from earlier.
No, tacos.
Yeah, no, definitely. Oh, me too. I mean, it's both sad. Okay. All right. So it looks like things are going good. I'm gonna really hard punch this top little part of the tower.
The crenellations on the top.
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Okay, you can make me a athletics check or a strength check.
Strength check. All right.
See how
I'm
hard.
gonna rage and have advantage.
Why is he
Oh, you're out of
So
rages, Jake. Oh, we short rest.
Angry.
Yeah.
And
No,
upset.
Jake, you're out of rages.
Oh, that's right. I'll take a short rest. Okay. Well, that's okay. In that case, it's a 15.
Yeah, you put a nice crack in it. You don't knock it off, which would have been much more cinematic.
Yes.
Right.
But-
Well, I wouldn't want to knock it off on somebody, but
well,
Rick
that's
might
what
have
I was
in the
hoping
moment.
for. But no, you put a nice crack in it. Rick punches the tower.
Okay. We should probably all get inside. Since we're freezing.
That should be the
And
name of
we're
the
like-
episode. Rick
Yeah.
punches the tower.
Yeah.
Yeah,
gonna-
I guess so.
Yeah, quietly get up and go.
Okay, so you
Go inside.
guys
Try to find a fire.
descend down into Valeguard Spire here, and again, you remember that it's basically 3 floors as it stands. As you descend down, you're on the top, which is got the 4 kind of teleportation mosaics and a central spiral staircase that descends, and there are 2 or 3 other floors. One's the ground floor, and like 2 in, that you come down, and they are the kind of the 3rd floor is pretty barren. Nothing really there. It's pretty much the way you left it, which was just a blank room. The 2nd floor has started to kind of become more developed. There are beds, there are some furniture here. You know that Sorrow has been staying here permanently, and Brother Drander has been staying here as often as he could. So they've been trying to make it more homey, as it were. And then, yeah, that's what you see. And there is a fire, we'll say, in the fireplace there. So you guys are able to descend and warm up by the fire if you so choose.
No. Rick's gonna go outside. He needs to find like a nice big stone that he can chisel down into a gravestone.
Okay, all right. So you're in front of the fire, Brina. What about you, Wave?
I'm gonna go find Brother Drander or Sorrow.
Okay. So you two head down basically together.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Got him.
Yeah, I showed that bug. There it is. There's
Need
a
a flash
fly
water.
in here. Everyone.
Do you have a flash water?
Upstairs. We're not just like spastically moving about. There is a fly.
It's a big fly,
It is a
too.
big fly. Yeah, it's no joke. Okay. Anyway.
Cricket all over again.
Oh god, don't even get me started on the damn cricket.
The cricket owns the house now.
It
Yeah.
does.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, the cricket kicked us out.
It won.
Yeah, so you guys descend down together. Brina curls up in front of the fire. You guys go down and go outside. Rick, you just walk off looking for some stone here. And you can see Wave as you're looking about. You can see again, you've got outside of the kind of this square tower, there is sort of a garden. Or at least not really a garden because it's the fall, so there's and it's wintertime, but there is tilled land in preparation for a garden that you were working to get set up, kind of 2 gardens there. And then there are the other 2 buildings that have started to be rebuilt. And you guys had said to focus on which one first?
The stable.
Yeah.
Was that what we decided to focus on, building the stable first?
Yeah, so
I
that the
think so.
dinosaurs had somewhere to be.
The barracks after that, right?
Yeah. I would
Okay.
assume.
So then I'll say that based on this, let's see. So you can see that the wall is started, the wall that surrounds the outside of the tower has started to be built up. We're going to say that, did you guys have a thoughts on how high you wanted the defensive perimeter to be? 20 feet?
20 feet sounds more than reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
25.
50!
25 sounds also, 50 is too much.
We're gonna cloister ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if you really want. No. If 25 feet?
Yeah, 25.
All right. So you can tell that as of right now, with the money, you've got about an 8-foot wall or so around the outside of your area at the moment. And the stable. That's going to kill the mic. I'm sorry.
It was like in your
It was all
Yeah.
up on you.
Sorry. Like, I don't know if you guys could hear the fly. That's how big it is. It's like.
I don't want to squish it
I
because it's
can't
so
hear it.
big. It's gonna make. Ooh! I think you got it.
I did.
You hit it. Anyway.
showed it who's boss.
And the stable
Where'd it go?
is also complete.
Alright,
Nice.
And you can see that out and about, moving stone in preparation to fix the barracks and things here around the outside is, you see Sorrow and Brother Drander, and they have a large Styracosaurus, spiky dinosaur with a plow that is kind of helping to move. Or it doesn't have the plow hooked up right now. It's got sort of a blade on the front. It's pushing rock and stone. So they're moving on to the barracks building at the moment.
Alright, I'm gonna say hello.
good. There's a quarry at the bottom of the hill, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna head down to that.
Okay. So Rick just storms off down the hill, and they both kind of turn and stop, not expecting to see you, and they're like, "Is it done?"
No.
Oh, Brother Drander says. He like wipes some sweat from his brow and he says, "What happened?"
Well, we were on a ship and we were attacked, and the ship exploded. The creature that attacked us exploded and blew us all up. It was very dire. So here we are.
Oh man, no matter be praised. That's a lot.
This is a very
Yeah.
serious moment, right, people?
We lost a lot of people, the whole crew.
Oh wow.
Yes.
How many?
There was just waves of them.
Let's call it like
The
30.
perfect time for a pun.
30.
And he's like, "Oh, that is horrible." And what of everyone else?
Gone.
It's just you.
And Rick and
I'm like, where is he?
Rev. We lost Rev.
And they're like, "Oh,
He
was. I liked him."
he sacrificed himself to save Rick. Brina is still with us. Yeah, TC's non-existent right now.
And he's like, "Did you hear that fly? It's so big and annoying."
baseball bat.
It's you. I have a really bad feeling that you're gonna try and hit the flag. With me.
Probably. The
I'm
backhand.
I'm not trying to stop you. I'm just commenting that I think that's gonna happen.
That's fair.
So he says, well, your package arrived, as did your gift.
Yes, good.
And the trainer has left, and things seem to be working pretty well, all things considered. How's gone? Doesn't sound like it's gone too well, but how about spreading the name of the Valeguard? How has that gone?
It's good. We've helped. We saved Nibbles.
And he's like, who's Nibbles?
And
Did we save Nibbles?
We did. He's in Rev's backpack. I'm gonna, while I'm up at the fire, release his menagerie
Okay.
so that they're not contained in a cold, wet backpack anymore.
We were at it was a tavern.
He's like, I don't know, I wasn't there.
Oh, what is it called?
It's like,
The Terror Dog Tap.
Yeah.
you're not there,
Yes,
Rick. You're at the bottom of the hill
The
getting
Terror Dog
rocks.
Tavern. And we basically saved some rats and Nibbles and killed some other different types of rats. There were so many, it's hard to describe.
And he says, I'm going to ask him one more time, though. Who's Nibbles?
This is Nibbles. I'm
You
gonna,
just gesture to the air?
I have Nibbles up with me.
it's with Brina.
And he says, Wave, you've been through a lot. Maybe you should lie down, and I'll
Yes.
just take a look and make sure everything's okay.
Sure.
Okay? We'll just, you sound like you've gone through a lot of suffering, and you've endured, clearly. But I just want to make sure that there's no more enduring left to be done.
Sure.
We're just going to just do a once-over.
I could use a rest.
And he like pulls out like he like says, yeah, why don't you comes over with like a bullseye lantern, and he lights the lantern, and he like lowers the light real small, and he says, now just like, and he like puts it in front of your eyes, and he's like, all right, no concussion, and he's just going about trying
That's
to,
remarkable.
and he's just like, yeah, apparently you're thick skull, or strong connective tissue in your brain. I don't know, whatever, it's fine. And he will, he'll take some time, and he'll kind of give you a once-over. And he says, no, everything seems to be in order.
Thank you.
Sure. And he says,
Right, everything seems to be normal.
yeah, I guess we're not wrong in that.
Now I'm just imagining doing that at like a doctor's office. Being like, yep, blood pressure's good. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So he says, all right. So where is everybody else?
Well, Rick's going to get a rock from the quarry, it seems, and Brina's taking a rest by the fire. And, yeah.
It's the whole list.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he says, I'll let Sorrow finish up here, and why don't we call everyone together? How long is it going to take him to find a rock? Has he done this before?
No.
Is he okay?
I think he will be. I hope.
Okay.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, so he's gonna wait. So Rick, you find a rock. It's the perfect rock.
World's
You know.
fire rock.
I can see a gravestone inside of this rock.
You can envision that, yes.
I pick up the rock.
You have the rock.
Ooh.
Alright, I carry it back up the hill.
You do.
Alright, how big is this rock?
How big do you want it to be?
Um,
It's big enough to make a gravestone.
okay, well, that's as big as I need it to be, then.
Yeah.
Alright, so, I'm gonna bring it. I have my blacksmithing tools, which I assume would work fine for carving out stone.
I would argue masonry tools, but I'll let it slide. This is a funerary thing, so.
Would there be
Yeah, I mean,
masonry
I'll
tools
punch
around
this
though?
out
Because
here.
we were building a.
Yeah, I mean, if not, there's masonry tools around from working on the
Yeah,
spire.
cool. So I'll employ those.
Okay.
And I'm gonna make a nice gravestone for reverence. Is there like a good plot, maybe? I don't know, someplace where you can see like the sunset or something that's not like in the way of things. Where's a good place to set up a graveyard around here?
Yeah, that is. You can definitely start that. Maybe foreshadowing. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if we gotta expect people are gonna die at some point. So I'm gonna go outside of where the walls are gonna be.
Okay.
And find a place with a nice view, and then I'm gonna sit down and carve the gravestone.
Okay. Make me a. I don't know, an artisan tools check.
All
Well,
right.
the proficiency bonus, I'll give you that, and we'll say, I don't know, how are you carving this? Are you carving this carefully with finesse, or are you rage angry carving this rock?
No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it as right as I can.
Okay, so use whatever modifier you think fits best.
Okay. I don't know what modifier that is.
Yeah, neither do I, that's why I'm putting it on you.
Okay. I'll probably use wisdom with proficiency. Does that
Sure.
work?
Yeah, that works.
It's a shame my wisdom's bad. 19.
Okay, no, that's pretty good. You're, what does this look like?
It's just going to be a big gravestone. I don't know when he was born or anything, but it's just going to be. It's going to have reverence on the top, and then it's going to have just the year he died, whatever year this is. I can't remember,
Mm-hmm.
but put down. And it's going to have a line that says honorary Valeguard, one that says good friend, and then two more that say loving husband and father.
Mm. Nice.
Because I overheard his dream
That's
one
true.
time
You
about
did.
it.
All right. So, yeah, you
Thank you.
you do that. And yeah, you guys all go back. Do you once? I'm sorry. When it's done? What do you do?
I'm gonna go find Brina after that.
Okay. So for convenience sake, we'll say you guys all find each other at the same time. Brina with a menagerie of Rev's animals in front of a fireplace. You guys, and you are there with Brother Drander as Sorrow is finishing up the day's work outside. Actually, not the day's work. It's early. It's like afternoon. So still working.
All right.
So you guys are all together.
Hey kid, how you doing?
Thank you.
Brina's just gonna like, as she stares into the fire.
I'm gonna take off my armor,
Whoa.
sit down next to her.
Whoa.
But I got clothes on and stuff.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We got it.
Oh,
It
okay.
was more, well, like, oh my god, Rick is actually taking off his armor.
This is
You never do that.
This is important.
You sleep in
This
that.
is important. That's the way it feels. Rick will put one arm around Brina and just sit there. Not say anything, just be there if she needs to talk.
Okay.
Brina's just, you know,
Crying. Some tears.
some, you know, silent crying, like, not meditative, like, just,
Almost composed.
yeah, like trying to keep it in. And, yeah, that
And
kind
what
of,
about
like, more
when this
shock.
is happening? What's Wave doing? Well, you're in the room. So is Brother Drander.
I'm just being very stoic and
Are you standing next to them in the corner?
yeah,
What's
like,
your plan?
just hanging out in the room.
Okay.
Probably by the fire.
Okay.
And probably just sitting there and hoping that we can do justice for what happened and the loss of the crew and the whole mission going forward.
So you guys sit there.
What time of day is it?
1:30 in the afternoon.
Oh man, it's so early.
Yeah. I mean, you guys really. You just woke up, then shit went down.
That's fair.
and then you teleported out.
Yeah.
I don't even think Rick got to make lunch.
I don't think so.
That's the real tragedy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not true.
So as you guys are there stoically staring into the fire in remembrance of reverence. It's a hard one to say. 2 times fast.
Remembrance of Rook.
You guys all get to level 10.
Woo!
So,
Alright. Oh,
Oh, man,
That's-
man.
that's still kind of sad.
Gonna go out on a limb and tell you
Already
that
here.
leveling up in D&D Beyond gets you all your stuff.
That's true.
Extra key point. Extra
Just
5
go to-
movement.
Do it then.
Extra
Pure-
5 feet of movement.
If you just click on
Oh,
your
I'm
character
so fast.
and you can just hit manage levels on the top left, just
I
change
see
that to
it.
10 and it'll auto-populate all your things.
That's good.
You,
Plus
sir,
Plus
Mr.
1.
Wild Rager, can now dash as a bonus action.
Plus 1.
Whoa.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
Half hit die?
Because being able to get around a little faster is gonna be important.
Mm-hmm. And if you charge, you can do more damage to people.
That's true.
And then stick them on your armor and get cover. Should all be in there once you level up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I should probably...
And you are immune to poison and disease.
Nice.
It's called purity of body.
It's giving me a hard time because it keeps making me reset the time when I go to sign into Twitch.
What?
Yeah, I go to D&D Beyond.
And then
Uh-huh.
I click on Twitch and then this pops up.
Two clock is behind! Oh wow, that's so weird.
I don't know, just hit update time.
I did, and then it brings me to here, and then
Nice.
I don't know how to get off of this without that same message coming up again.
I don't know. It's like everyone should get their own tablets like we talked about and have them all set up, ready to go, like we had also discussed.
Look at it.
character.
Manage levels.
So,
Okay, cool. Alright, I think I'm all good. Does
Am I good?
I think so. Did I hit one
Yes.
for uptime?
Jake?
No.
I was gonna say, doesn't
Move up.
doesn't my axe level up at level 10? Or did you say that was later? I can't remember.
I think it's 12. I think your axe is
12?
12, yeah. It was 9. I think it was like 2, 5, and 9.
Bottom should say body.
That's good.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to do it.
No.
Scroll all the way down.
Leveling up. Always fun to do on
Level
the
is what you got at 10.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So I'm good?
I think you just hit save.
Where?
Oh,
No, it
yeah.
just saves.
It just automatically saves?
Yeah,
Cool.
did
Once
you
do
hit
that.
yourself to level 10? Just hit the view character sheet, the little paper looking thing in the corner. Top right,
Yeah.
to view your character sheet.
Thank you, sir.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, so should be. Everybody should be all leveled
So
up.
fast.
That's the whole thing, yeah.
50.
What's your speed at? 50? Fuck.
It's a pretty
It's
decent
pretty quick.
movement speed.
All just spooled.
On dispute.
Alright,
Yeah,
so
50 feet.
as you guys are sitting there discussing Jake's camera disappearing. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
Oh,
no!
there it goes again. Oh, there it is. Hi, we're back. As you guys are all there, stoically remembering Rev and remembering yourself all the way to level 10. Brother Drander is just kind of like standing off to the side, and he's like, seems like he's like, there's clearly something going on here, and he's kind of just like, So I don't know if this is a good time because you guys seem like you're dealing with a lot right now. But do you have a second to talk? I don't want to interrupt your...
Yeah, of course.
He says, all right, well, there's someone else has arrived here. Your Harrison arrived with your dinosaur, which I believe we're calling Little Rick. Is that the name?
I guess that. That's what these guys came up with.
All right, so Little Rick is here, as are your 4 smaller dinosaurs that eat the waste.
Mm-hmm.
They are also here.
I've decided their name.
No, you haven't decided their name.
No, I'm saying I have now.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
Oh, good. Well, he says they're also here. But someone else arrived while you were gone, although I thought it would be longer before I got a chance to speak with you about this, and is looking for you. I wanted to speak with you. Are you up to
With
seeing
me
them?
specifically?
You
With us in general?
3 in general.
Tell us a little about this guy.
Interesting. Dude, it's so weird because I'm looking over there, but interesting. Says he knows someone that you used to know. And he looks to you and Rick and Wave. Says he knows someone from your past. I think it's probably best if he just explains it himself.
Sure.
Fair enough.
All right. I'll go get him then. We're right here. And he walks out. You guys continue to stare into the fire, all sad-like. And a few minutes later, he returns with someone in tow. Who do they see? What do they see?
You see a small little halfling with a pointy wizard's hat and big old robes, big backpack on his back. He has a white goatee, shaggy hair under the hat.
That's who you see.
Okay. Do I recognize him?
You can... No.
No.
You can make me an insight check, I guess.
Does he recognize me?
I don't know. It depends on if he... Does he say something? I don't know. He's there. He's in the door, and Brother Drander steps to the side and gestures to this tiny individual. Small individual.
Yeah.
Smaller than me?
Yeah.
How small
The
are you?
smallest.
The smallest
like
here.
4
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, 3-1.
Oh,
Smaller.
you're so tiny.
Do you remember Oz?
It's Oz all over again.
Does this guy look like Oz?
A little bit. At this point, he's gonna say, hello, Rick. It's been a while, but
Yeah.
I've been told you won't know me.
No.
I'm Roscoe. Roscoe Greenbottle.
Oh.
You would remember my son. Osborne.
Yes, I do. I'll take off. I'm not wearing any armor. I'll come up and shake his hand. Like, yes, your son's quite the character.
That is a kind way for you to describe him. He asked me to come check up on you guys. Make sure you're doing okay. He also...
Yeah, we're not doing best right now. We just lost one of our companions out to sea.
Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't. It seems like my timing was bad.
No. I mean, you came to check on us, and that's good. What did Oz have to say?
Well, his mother passed. So, when I told him, he mentioned that he was worried about you three specifically, and left in bad terms.
Right.
So he asked me to keep an eye on you guys for a while. So if that's all right with you, I'd like to stick around.
Sure.
I also have this. He's gonna pull out a bag with the old party fund.
Oh, snap.
Bree's gonna snatch it.
You must be Brina.
I bone to pick with your son.
I thought you might.
So what have you been up to?
Oh, I was running a shop in Bin.
How much was it?
I have it written down.
Yeah.
1,500?
I'm gonna add it to the
Yes,
Valeguard party fund. It was a good amount.
I haven't looked at the party fund page. 1,658 gold, 3 silver, and 4 gems worth 200 gold each.
Damn. All right.
Yeah.
It felt like more back then.
I can't
You're not
help
wrong.
that.
All right. Well, I'm really sorry to hear about your wife.
Thank you.
Yes.
She's supposed to be a really great lady.
She was dynamite. But, yeah, without her and without Oz, running a shop in Bin didn't have the allure it once did. So I'd like to try and help. Make some people's lives easier.
All right. Well, we have a mission right now.
Yeah, the Scourge.
Yep.
He mentioned. Well, if you would have me, I would lend my expertise in stuff.
And what is your expertise?
Magic. I've been studying it for a while. I can do some cool things.
Nibbles! Do I hear anything?
Yeah, I guess eventually Nibbles will be like, yes.
Oh.
I know your friend. He's back.
Flies back, everyone. Fucking thing.
Oh gosh, on your face.
Alright, we think Celine locked it outside.
Whew, I made it.
Good job, Celine.
Here to help.
Good. Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, I know Rev was gonna try to teach you magic,
Yes.
but he's not here now. But this guy knows magic, so maybe he can help you.
Perhaps.
Oh, hello.
And he will say he appears.
I can see invisible things within 10 feet of me.
Well, then I guess you can see him.
Like,
And he says, oh, he can see me. Weird.
yeah. I can do that with magic.
He's like, well, that's pretty interesting.
Man.
That's very patronly.
So you were attempting to learn magic from their friend.
Yes, they freed me from a cage and showed me of cheese.
I, too, have had cheese.
Cheese is amazing.
Cheese is quite good.
It's like a new experience. You didn't get that.
Are they just looking at each other telepathically right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like Nibbles is there's no movement on Nibbles. It's just sort of like they hit like occasional scratch. But yeah.
All right. Well, one day I will have to teach you a few cheese spells.
And he's just like freaked out. His eyes go real wide when you mention the fact that there are cheese-based magics. He's pretty excited.
We will find the books together, young Nibbles.
This is amazing. I love all of this.
All right. So, is there anything I can do to help for the rest of the day? You seem bummed, but there's plenty of work to be done. I'd like to help in any way I can.
We're pretty hurt and beat up.
All right. Well, if you need me to move things or with my brain.
Maybe we should just go to bed.
What kind of magic can you do?
Well, I dabble in all sorts of magic, but my speciality is divination magic, which is how one of the ways I was able to find folk here.
Can you find the
Okay.
scourge?
Can you
Wait.
teleport us around?
I can teleport you to one of two places.
Which two places are those?
Ted, which two places do I know the sigils for teleportation circle? It says in the spell, you know, when you learn the spell, you know two sigils. Ask your DM what you know.
What would make sense? Where?
Bin would make
What's his
sense.
name again?
Roscoe. Well, I don't know if, like, Sean, the player, doesn't know if Bin is a big enough town to have a teleportation, like a permanent teleportation.
Well, he could have made his own. You know, he's the kind of guy who may have been there doing it.
Yeah, there's potential.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Would his wife have been able to?
No, she was a fighter.
That's much cooler.
No, she was the cooler of the two.
Yeah, I know. I don't remember that, but I know.
Yes.
All
That's,
right, cool. So, yeah, Ted, where's the circles, man?
Listen. Do you want? I mean, I think teleportation circles says if you cast it the same place, like over an extended period of time, you can make a permanent circle.
Yeah, but I think it's like either a year or 100 days or something.
Well, you've
I
had
think
a
it's
long
100
life.
days.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a year. I mean, maybe even if it is a year.
Yeah, we could say that.
Would that be a thing he would have done?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I was like, my original thought was, I was thinking back to Flint and was thinking like, oh, he doesn't have the supplies, like the actual
Chalk.
chalk to make the sigil 100 times. But running his own alchemist shop, Roscoe probably would have had access to that.
So we can say there's one in Bin.
Okay.
And then where else would he have liked to have gone?
Probably a bigger city.
To Thware?
Well, there's only a couple of big cities.
Yeah, I mean, if you think
Is that the one closest to Bin?
Yeah.
yeah, it's closest distance-wise to Bin. If that makes sense in your head, that might be where he would go, we can make that a thing.
Sure.
All right, so it sounds like Bin and Dethair are your two teleportation circle locations.
Ha! We finally got our. Oh, we're gonna take you to here.
But there is one little catch, though.
Oh.
I do not have that spell prepared today, so I wouldn't be able to take us there until tomorrow morning at the earliest.
We could definitely use a rest. And
Okay.
maybe
Yeah, we could use the day.
Okay.
see if there's anything we need to do around here.
All right. Well,
I'll look to Brother Drander and sorry
And,
for that.
At sunset, we're going to do a little ceremony for reverence.
That's nice.
that sounds very, very kind of you. Would you mind if I also attended? I did not know your companion, but I'd still like to pay some respects.
Of course.
No, I think anybody who wants to be there is more than welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so, sorry. You guys, the rest of the day goes by. Brother Drander does tell you over the course of the time you guys are doing some work together. So, the stable exists in how you guys had originally designed it, and he's begun work on the barracks. You're leaving the smithy, which is the smallest of all the locations, for last. And he said, we're starting, in an ideal world, your ventures out into the world will continue to grow the name of the Valeguard, although it sounds like you suffered a minor setback on your travels. But the more we do this, the higher these walls get, the more buildings we're trying to maintain. the more work there will be to do here. So we may want to think about hiring some people to help with the work.
Yeah, what do you think that would cost daily?
He says, well, at the moment, he basically tells you that kind of as it stands right now, you guys are running in about 25 gold a day. Between him and Sorrow and keeping up with the animals, which are basically counting as someone to finish this work.
Right.
And he says, in his mind, he'd like to hire on another 3 people to help with that. And he says, I can do that based on my judgment, or we can try and figure something out to get a list and wait till you return, and then you guys can vet them yourselves. Whatever. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I trust your judgment. I think you've obviously worked hard and completed a bulk of work in these days we've been gone. So, I mean, as long as it's not a task that you feel like is overwhelming, I would leave it in your capable hands.
Is that the general? All right, that's the general consensus. So I will look to hire. I'll put a call out and see who I can find to hire 3 additional workers. And as long and we'll continue to keep maintenance going as we can, but to do any of the major upgrades to continue growing the wall and to finish the secondary building, probably going to be looking at another more or less 5,000 gold pieces in about another 30-ish or so days. Once we have 6 people here working full time.
We have 5,000 in the Valeguard party fund. If we wanted to use all of our party fund money. Did we roll for a gem today?
We'll put, well, we have the ring, which is gonna negate some cost.
You guys are currently at, last I checked, you're at 6,000, so you're about 1,000 over what was needed, so you really only need 4,000 total.
We just got Thaw's party fund back.
Yeah, you need 4,000
which
total.
Which is like 2,000 with the gems, a little over.
Yeah. I've added it in to
Alright.
the our
Why don't we do half now? We'll do 2,500, and then I guess we kind of need to just do all of it now because we're not planning on coming right back.
So you're gonna just hit the 4,000?
That makes sense to me.
Yes.
Just it's up there. We have it right now.
While we
what
have
are we giving?
4,000.
Yeah, we have some magic items and stuff that we can part with.
Yeah,
If we really need.
I was gonna say once, like out of game, once we hit Dethair, we could sell the armoire of invulnerability
Yeah,
and the robe of serpents, whatever else is in Carl.
yeah, that's true. Oh, we should leave the armoire here.
Yeah.
That as opposed to selling it?
I think they
Yeah,
kind of like
what
it.
if we
I
need to hide some? What if we need to have it?
It'd be like
have
a
it.
panic room.
It's a perfect place for my adamantine plate armor because it won't damage it.
All right, that's
Yeah,
fair.
what happens if I ever want to hang it up and then I'll just glue it shut and then nobody can ever have it?
I don't. Good point. I didn't think of that.
Alright.
Yeah,
I took the
what if I
4,000
never
out.
wanted anybody to be able to use my armor again?
I mean, no one else can use your armor.
I
There's
could teach somebody how they're not allowed to use my armor.
yeah, you could. There are 7 people in the world who know how to use your armor.
Well, you gotta teach more at some point. And there's probably more right now.
It's fair.
It's been a couple months since we were in character fair.
That is a good point.
Okay. So, you guys provide the rest of the money to Brother Drander, and he says he's going to look into putting his feelers out to find an additional 3 skilled people to help. And then you guys have the rest of the day where you're going to work and get, if you so choose, the benefits of a long rest at the end of the day. So you can wake up fully rested the next day to figure out what your plan is. So everybody gets the benefit of a long rest.
Woo!
That is important. Let's do that right now. Yeah, long rest. Wonderful.
So,
But before we end
Oh,
the
right,
day
you have
around
your-
sunset, I do want to
yes.
do a thing for reverence.
Yes, it's sunset, we'll say. So you can do your thing.
So we'll go out.
Yeah, does anybody else do anything else during the day? Because aside from that, I'm pretty much just resting.
Yeah, just resting.
Just resting.
Cool.
So
Hey, Green Bottle.
Yes.
You don't talk to my wife, do you?
Not. No.
Recent lady. Okay.
Not since that giving thanks dinner you invited us over for.
Oh,
With the
Okay.
turkey and all the root vegetables.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was. Man, how long ago was that?
Too long, let's say.
That's true. That's exactly how it feels.
I'm
Yeah.
so uncomfortable.
Um,
This is so
alright.
awkward.
Good.
Oh! I have a fun thing for you to play with at some point.
Okay. Rick's just thinking about Oz.
In my travels, I have acquired a pipe with some mildly magical qualities,
Okay.
and I think we'd get a kick out of you using it. We'll talk later. This isn't the
Okay.
time. This isn't the time.
All right. Fair
Then you
enough.
go prep for your ritual for your dead friend after he tells you about his fun pipe
It's a fun
that
pipe.
you can play with.
We can play with it like a smoking pipe, not like a pan pipe.
Okay. We'll have to talk more because this sounds weird right now.
Oh, it's very weird.
Food to was that Brother Drander? Yeah, I gotta go talk to him.
Yes,
Now.
enjoy pretending to talk to him. It's good to be back. It's good to be teaming up again. He's gonna love me.
All right. So it's sunset. What do you want to do? What's your plan?
Well, who all is gathered around outside?
We'll
Assume everybody.
everybody will say.
All right, cool. Even little Rick.
Even little Rick.
All right.
He doesn't know what's going on.
Reverence liked little Rick.
You did.
He did.
Okay. So, it's fall right now, so it's pretty outside.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of a chill in the air. I'm gonna lean over to Wave and be like, "Hey,
Hey,
do you want
man.
to say something?"
Sure. So I'm gonna just say, well, the heavy hitter and his sword saved us numerous times. Saved you, Rick. And we will not soon forget him. And I'm gonna take out my water pouch and I'm gonna this one's for him and I'm gonna pour it out. Slow pour.
Yep. Nope. Just let it
Okay.
You'll not soon be forgotten.
go. Wait till after.
I pick out. I have a bottle of Heart's Mead that I've been saving, but I'm gonna pour it out for
Oh
him.
man, that's the good stuff.
Mhm.
Shit.
It's the good stuff. It is.
Hey, mine was the
I
good
smell
stuff too.
What'd you say?
I said mine was the good stuff too, you know, that water.
Yeah. No, I wasn't comparing. All right. Brina, do you have something you might want to say?
Sure. We didn't know each other long, and you seem to dislike us most of the time. But I like to think that by the end, we made each other better. So, thanks for everything, and I hope you found the peace you were looking for. Take some dew of the mountain.
That was beautiful, Brina.
Okay. Yeah, and
If you would like, I can enchant this rock to speak a short message if someone comes to pay their respects to reverence.
You know what would be funny? Just at the end of whatever anybody says, it's very monotone, just be like, okay. That's the kind of guy he was.
Whatever.
I can do that if you'd like.
I don't know, would you be able to make it sound like him?
sure.
Yes.
You have to do your best Rev impression so that he can know what he sounds like.
Oh, Brina does a great Rev impression.
What do I need to say? What are we having it say? Give me a specific phrase. Is it just okay?
I think just okay. It's mine.
Okay.
That sounds right.
I'm gonna give it my best shot. Okay. How is that?
Oh, that was weirdly good. She's so tall and you're so short. But the voice is very similar.
Alright, so then I'm gonna, as a ritual, cast Magic Mouth. It'll take me 21 minutes. And then, if someone pays their respects to Rev, at the end it'll say, okay.
That sounds very so correct.
Alright, so that is done.
Alright.
Alright, so your evening ritual complete in remembrance of reverence. And then you guys can get your long rest. You can wake up the next morning.
Alright. What?
Alright, Rick's gonna wait until everyone else leaves.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna sit down by the gravestone. Be like, know what it's like, man. Losing part of yourself. You were a good guy. At the end of it all, you know, it's hard to keep going when you're missing a piece of yourself. And then I'm gonna pat the top of the gravestone.
Okay.
And then after that, Rick's gonna get up and go rest for a little bit.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so you guys get your long rest. Everybody's level 10. And now you wake up the next morning with possibly some fast travel options.
Oh, what were the cities that I had to pee?
Ben and Tether.
Oh, good.
Those sound like two places we would want to go.
Yeah.
It does. How
I think
convenient.
we all agreed to there, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
Do you want to go to Ben?
Talking about it for fucking weeks. Is there any other business that you guys would like to accomplish here before we set out?
We should probably get in touch with Quartz Citadel. Let them know everybody died on that ship.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Sorry. Make this sound like a White Goodman.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
WHIT.
R-I-C. Okay.
I unfortunately do not know the sending spell.
We could write a nice letter.
We could buy a box at the fair and send it from there.
All right.
That's fair. That's probably better.
Huh. I don't know why you guys are having buffer issues. I see you guys are a couple of you in the chat saying there's some issues with the stream. We're not showing any dropped frames. We're showing, full usage here on this end. Jake, you're in the chat. Are you happen to be on the stream? Does it seem like it's jumpy at all?
No, my laptop cannot handle streaming, and I think it's actually because I'm hooked up to Wi-Fi, not lined in. I think that my internet is just not capable of dealing with that.
Interesting.
But no, I mean, I don't know. I'm video chatting with you guys. It's fine.
Ooh, today when we wake up, Roscoe has a big handlebar mustache, no goatee.
Oh, all right. That's his decision.
Mm-hmm.
Rick could also have a big handlebar mustache because he's got a lot of beard.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's lagging for you guys.
Your eyes get very little sometimes. Did you know that? Like that, right now, they're doing it.
I'm gonna tell Brother Jander,
Squinting.
like
Everybody.
Rick said about getting in contact with the
You
Court
just
Citadel,
said
we've
that.
made some connections with them, with the Valeguard, so if you need their assistance, they might respond.
Wait, who?
The Court Citadel.
Oh. Okay.
Roscoe.
Yeah.
Yes. What? That's gonna sound dumb. What is a divination spell?
Oh, it involves seeing the unseen, knowing the unknown.
Do it dumber now.
Oh, sometimes I can tell where other people are, even though I'm not there. And sometimes I can tell if something's a dumb idea before we do it.
But with magic?
Yes.
Alright, that.
Also, sometimes with just logic and reason.
Just always tell me it's magic.
Okay. That's about right, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's cool. Brother Drander,
Yes.
I'm gonna make everybody breakfast before we leave. It's gonna be a nice big pancake breakfast.
Okay.
How comforting.
I love pancakes.
Not pancakes. Pancakes.
That's what I said.
It's gonna be
Pancakes.
big. It's gonna be delicious.
Okay. You make pancakes. They're great.
Is there syrup?
Sure.
Oh, we lost Jake.
Well, when you lose him, we just lost
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
fine.
can hear you.
Okay.
Well, your video
I wonder
disappeared.
what the issue is.
I did it before and then it came back.
Yeah.
Well, you have pancakes. They're great. There's also syrup.
Good.
Delightful.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I'll make Tad Cooper appear.
Resummon Tia Cooper.
You watch a strange fuzzy chicken thing erupt from the middle of her
A
back.
slightly feathered chicken dinosaur.
I am very impressed with Osborne's description of is it Todd?
Tad.
Tad Cooper.
Tad, yes. TC.
Yes, that is exactly
This is
what I pictured.
Here's some pancakes, Tad Cooper.
We got a black screen now, Jake.
I know. I can see my Jake screen. I'm doing my best. It's just my laptop is slow.
So's your face.
Oh, got him.
You know, that's kind of rude and really hurtful. And also, you can't even see my face. So you don't even know what it's like.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
So,
Really put you in your place there.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys have your pancake breakfast, and then are you heading to Dethair, I guess?
I believe so.
Activating a teleportation circle spell, which is a ritual?
No, I've had to prep it.
Okay, so you have to blow a 5th level slot, 6th level slot. Alright, so that happens, and you guys teleport via circle to Dethair.
Is it just instantaneous, like you just did, or?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, takes me a minute to cast a spell.
Takes some time to do it, but then you guys teleport over there.
We're not like ripped through a wormhole, like or whoosh, and then boom.
No, it's nothing like that.
Okay.
Just like,
It's like Star Trek. Like you know, the teleporter. You just kind of beam particles and then you appear. Yep, just like that.
Just
Jake.
like
Is
that.
that a fart, Jake?
No. I wish if I could fart like that, I'd fart more.
It's very unsettling without the
Yeah.
picture. I gotta get your video back, Jake. Have you tried unplugging that webcam and plugging it back in?
hello?
I think we lost Jake.
R.I.P.G. Gone, but not forgotten.
God damn it!
Who?
More.
I don't know.
What? What are you asking me
Well,
about?
I think we lost Jake momentarily.
What a great time for a break.
I guess at that point we're gonna take a break here as
More coffee!
the party touches down in Dethair. Shifty city full of coffee and combat.
Oh, it's just us. I got excited for a second.
Whoa.
Ah!
There's double us.
So many me.
See?
So yes, you guys will be in Dethair shortly when we get back from a break. So enjoy some music, Internet. We will be back. Let's see if this works. All right. Hi, Internet. We're back. So we got Jake.
A little better, a little louder, a little
Yeah, I think
faster
should
on
be
my
better
video.
with Jake over there. I did forget to mention beforehand, so I'll bring it up now. We do have, and I'm sure a lot of you who have joined the chat or have subscribed recently or followed, we have a giveaway going on. So our giveaway just ended on Ghosts of Saltmarsh. So, by the way, check your email because the first prize winner of Ghosts of Saltmarsh did not respond within time.
Oh, huge mistake.
So I drew a second winner and have emailed the second winner of Ghosts of Saltmarsh. And this is the exclusive cover that you're missing out on, the exclusive hobby store cover and a set of dice. So check your email because if this person doesn't respond in the next day or two, I'm going to choose a different winner again and pick somebody else. So check your email. But we do have a giveaway going on right now for 2 copies of this book right here, Acquisitions Incorporated, the brand new D&D book that came out last Tuesday. If you're unfamiliar with Acquisitions Incorporated, what are you doing with your life? This is one of the biggest, most earth-shaking podcast / streaming things of all of Dungeons & Dragons. It started basically the concept of playing Dungeons & Dragons so that other people could consume the content, whether it be streaming, podcast form, the live shows. Again, this is created, Acquisitions Incorporated is a Penny Arcade product, made by Penny Arcade. PAX is where they do the live shows, which is the Penny Arcade Expo. This book contains all sorts of new character options. It basically has a how to start your own Acquisitions Incorporated franchise. All of the Acquisitions Incorporated specific professions from levels 1 to 5, things like decisionist, occultant, hordes person, all that kind of stuff. There's the other ones I can't remember off the top of my head.
Bird person?
No. Here, I'll just tell you, Jake.
It's okay. I think I found my profession in the Acquisitions Inc. Deliver mail or
Cartographer, decisionist, documancer, hordes person, loremonger, obviator, occultant, and secretarian. There's also
I don't like the idea of being an ovulator.
obviator.
That makes more sense.
Does it? I know what an ovulator does. I don't know what an obviator is.
It should be someone who makes things obvious, and then you can be like, obvi.
Okay.
Anyway, new player options in backgrounds. To Ash, who points out in the chat, which is a pretty good one, one of the new backgrounds is basically you are the child of someone famous. That's one of the backgrounds. There are...
That,
What?
Sean.
Yeah.
I did that too with Drew.
It's true.
Yeah.
Drew.
We would have had perception and performance, disguise kit, 2 languages of our choice, and the feature we'd get is name dropping. You might be able to wrangle minor assistance from a major figure in a campaign because, like, do you know who my dad is? Or, like, I guess you could make it more Draco Malfoy and be like, my father will hear about this.
Good.
Anyway, then they have options for how to play your character in an Acquisitions Incorporated scenario, which is, again, corporate. If you've ever seen it, it's very interesting because it takes a corporate business mindset to the world of Dungeons & Dragons. But there is a new race in here called the Verdant. There are new spells as well, and some new magic items, a couple of new monsters, classic stat blocks for all of the iconic Acquisitions Incorporated characters, 2 new means of transportation in the typical Ac Inc. battle balloon, but also the mechanical beholder tank, and a whole section of some interesting new trinkets as well. So I'm giving away 2 copies of these. That giveaway goes until next Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Or sorry, not this Friday, but next Friday, I think it is, the 5th of July at 11:59 p.m. So you can enter the way you normally do. There you go. And also, if you haven't seen that this is out and available exclusively in Target only till September 3rd, the Dungeons & Dragons Essential Kit, a brand new starter set that includes digital content on D&D Beyond, a set of dice, DM screen, a brand new level 1 to 6 adventure that takes place in Phandalin but is not Lost Mines of Phandelver, which also officially canonizes in print the sidekick rules for levels 1 through 6 for sidekicks anyway.
Nice.
So, anyway, cool stuff. This is out. I did a review. More stuff coming. I'm doing a full walkthrough of the whole adventure. And then in the future, I'll be giving away a copy of this as well. So, there you go. Giveaway stuff.
Very cool.
So you guys are in Dether. Now, that's where we're back into the game. Everyone has arrived in Dether. There is no ThinkGeek to shop at in Dether.
Hello.
Celine.
I'm going to where this one was section.
We left all of Reverence's menagerie.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Celine.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Except for Nipples.
Yeah, I would assume that they're all back. I would leave them all back. I mean,
I don't know.
they
You
can
tell
go
me.
where they want to go.
Okay. So Nibbles, you now have Nibbles again.
Cool.
As a potential familiar, I guess. You could theoretically make him your familiar if you
Yeah.
wanted.
But can we just be buddies and I make a familiar my familiar?
I mean, sure. But if he's your familiar, he has all of his stats, but also can never die. And he can turn invisible, which is almost, potentially, for scouting purposes, better than an owl.
Yes. But I like having the option of an owl for combat purposes. So for now, me and Nibbles will just be buds. I mean, I just met him yesterday.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
They're not that familiar yet.
We're not.
Oh.
You. But yeah, so you guys tell me where to.
Why were we
I've never
coming
been to
from?
Dether before.
I'd like to look for a shop for a shield.
So here in Dether, for those of you who don't know, how I would best describe Dether to all of you is Gotham City. Okay? It's a big metropolis city, but it's not Metropolis where things are great and everybody's happy and you've got a nice big superhero who protects you from everything and things are great and light and happy. It's dark. It can be dangerous. There is a defense force, right? There are crime is around, and it's like, yes, there is people there to protect for different things, but crime happens anyway. And there is crime syndicates and crime rings and crime bosses and that kind of thing. Depending on where you are and when things happen, you may just be killed in the street and couldn't get there in time. Shucks. So there are Thieves Guild. This would be a place where if you were looking for poisoners kits or a Thieves Guild to join, this is where you would be. So they do, again, have a legal code, but depending on what the offense could be, it may be something that's handled by public whipping, removal of limbs, fingers, etc., forced labor, depending on what the issue may be.
What's the government?
How do I want to make it there? I kind of want to make it just ruled by a single person called the Theron, but I'm not going to do that.
He's like Theron, except
Duh.
less intelligent.
No, there is.
Is that even possible?
Yes,
Real
statistically possible.
Um,
Theron wasn't dumb. He was just excited about life.
All right.
so it's ruled by. I guess we'll call them dukes. So it's got a four grand dukes or a council of four that are sort of the main overseers. There also is a parliament of peers, so it's kind of a checks and balance system, but really the dukes hold the majority of the power.
An oligarchy.
I do remember that there is a
Also,
healthy...
people who live here are called Detherans.
Detherin? Got it.
Like that.
There was a healthy pit fighting, arena battle thing. So, if you guys are trying to spread the word of the new Valeguard, this might be a way to get your name out there.
I was thinking about
It's
putting
true.
a poster up.
Putting up a poster.
Singular.
Well, that is a good start, Wave.
Just
Yeah,
a drop
that's
in the
true.
ocean.
Do you? I maybe should ask this yesterday. Do you have any way of locating the guy we're looking for?
Maybe.
We should also
Maybe.
We also have to
Okay.
find somewhere to buy a
Yes.
sending box.
Yeah, if not, maybe there's
Or someone
somebody
yeah.
who's heard something about it. What do we want to do now that we're here? Find a popular inn, ask some questions.
Sure.
So, oh shit! I didn't let me update D&D Beyond and the overlay so we have Sean's character's name on the screen.
Woo!
Shit, yeah.
Well, I can try and mentally contact some powerful being and ask some yes/no questions. I can ask up to 5 questions, but it's not without its risks. I could try and scry him, but I've only heard... I know his name, and I've heard... But I have no description of him, so it would be difficult, but I could give it a shot.
That's true. If we have some an item of his, would that be something that might be able to help?
That would help.
Like a powerful magical sarcophagus of his?
Yeah, that could have an effect positively. But again, this is a scrying spell. He would know that we're trying to scry him and see. So, and he may be able to resist. I don't know, but it's certainly an option. Let's see what else I can do. I can
Arena,
learn.
this seems like the perfect place to set up a tattoo parlor.
That's true.
Ooh, that's a good idea, Rick.
You do.
Well, how long are we going to be here for?
Maybe long term, not.
Ah,
Definitely not right now. We're not staying for too long, but
pulls out like a pop-up stall. Tattoos, hey.
I also
right in the middle of the seedy underground of
Yep.
there.
It's just this 12-year-old kid giving out tattoos.
That's all right. You'd have Rick and Wave standing on the sides of your, little tattoo stand, so
No.
be all right.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna pick on you.
They can try. I will punch them into submission. Yes, I do tattoos.
Oh, that's... Osborne never mentioned that.
Do you want one?
Not right now. I don't know what an old man like me would get.
Well, think about it.
Try to use your roll percentile twice, please.
2%.
So we did add. I added him to the bottom as well, so you can see he's now part of the charge.
51 and 52.
Wow,
Yeah.
interesting. All right, so you have a mug that inflicts violent hiccups on anyone who drinks from it. Roll me a second. Roll me a
Terrible
second.
news.
68.
Oh.
Oh, it's never a good laugh.
You have a pair of rose-tinted spectacles that make everyone appear to be better looking than they actually are.
Nice. So I have a big starry wizard hat and pink sunglasses.
Yes.
I am very excited.
With your detect magic up, you can see that there are a large amount of magic things, potentially, depending on where you keep them on your person. His backpack's magic.
The rest of them are in there.
And his
Other
hat.
than my hat and my wand.
You're pretty glowy.
Thank you. So are you.
Am I? How could you tell?
You have a pleasant, sunny disposition. That's to what I was referring.
Oh, I'm in magic.
Oh, yes, I'm a wizard.
I can just
Makes
detect
sense.
it.
Guess, all right.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah,
Doing great, buddy.
here in Dethair.
Is it like this all the time?
Yeah, we don't know why he's like this.
Okay.
Yes.
Oz did mention that, not knowing why he is like this.
Dethair, you can smell the streets smell. It just smells like a coffee shop, which is
Love that
interesting
smell.
because there's a lot of people and a lot of kind of industry, as it were, but also this is one of the largest importers and exporters of coffee. So they get pretty consistent shipments of coffee brought in port, and they are basically one of the largest distributor out to the main continent from here.
God, that's fucking fantastic.
They have...
Let's go get some coffee.
Yeah, so that's... see, that in some places, that would be an easy thing. And you would just say, let's go to the coffee shop. Here, there are hundreds of coffee shops. What's the
Let's
best?
go to the nearest coffee
That's
shop.
fair. There is also the kind of drink, one of the drinks of choice contained here, or basically the largest Detherin specific drink, is essentially an alcoholic coffee. So it's like a coffee liqueur, but with a strong alcoholic flavor and kick to it as well. So if you've ever had an instance where you really wanted to make sure uppers and downers all in one liquid form,
Ooh.
this would be the place to get that drink.
Might as well try it while I'm here. You never know. This might be my last trip to Dethair.
You never know.
So imagine, if you will, what a lot of people will call like an Irish coffee. So get like a coffee base and throw in something like a Bailey's kind of liqueur, but then throw in maybe some sort of alcohol. I want to say like a scotch or a whiskey, but like my gut goes to like Grand Marnier, and I don't know why, but that's what I'm.
Follow your gut, dude.
Yeah.
Follow your gut.
Options.
Anyway, something like that. So that is kind of their drink of choice. And obviously you can. It sounds pretty simplistic, but the coffee base that you add to it allows for one singular drink to have a large variety of options of the way it tastes. Because, if you're going for more of a light coffee or a dark coffee, depending on the blend, so you could go to 4 different bars or coffee shops and get this drink 4 or 5 different ways, depending on who you go to and what you use.
Ted,
Yes.
Just, I guess, kind of like a logistical question. How do you want to do my portent? Do you want me to tell you what it is
Yeah,
at
let's
the
roll
beginning
it.
of the day?
Let's roll it right now.
I just rolled them. I got a 2 and a 5.
Okay, 2 and a 5.
All right.
Yes, a cocktail with coffee, essentially. The Thayer is also known for its combat arenas, and it has several. This is definitely a place where you could easily, if you wanted, find like a fight club, like an underground fighting pit that's kind of off the books and has questionable rules potentially, or may have some sort of seedy kind of thing going on. But they do have several public arenas, and they come in a wide variety of things you could do. You can do things, depending on which arena you go to, there is single combat, right? 1-on-1, 2 people enter. You can do them in such a way that they're set up to first blood. You could do them to the death. You can do them to, someone goes unconscious. Obviously, if they're ones where they're to the death, the amount of winnings and things are higher because the outcome is only one person gets it.
Do you have to kill somebody in the to the death?
That is the nature of the to the death, yes. You can do it to, you can enter, some are to first blood, like I said, some are beat someone to their unconscious, other ones are to the death. And you can obviously bet on any of these based on what you want. There are group-based combats where you go in with a group that you bring and fight against other groups, and that is again a similar scenario: first blood, to the death, etc. Whoa! All right.
Thank you for the donation.
Yeah, Wave. That's a charge for you, good sir.
Thank
Woo!
you.
Did you have 2 charges before, or is that 3? Does that make 2?
I think that makes
I
2.
think that makes 2. So there's that. You can also do kind of monster-based fights where they have people here in the city who go out and acquire rare and dangerous creatures for entertainment, right? So people have to pay to get in to watch the fights, so that generates income for the city. They pay people to go out and get these creatures, and then you will be put into a scenario, whether it be 1-on-you versus 1v creature, or group versus creature or creatures. And then you basically fight and kill these creatures for the entertainment of people all around. And they basically have if you choose to go to one of those arenas, a docket of different things to fight. And you get like a brief description of what it is. You choose what it is, you go into the arena, and either the monster wins and everybody cheers, or you win and everybody cheers.
Either way, they're having a good show.
Yeah, exactly.
May I make a suggestion as the newest member of this intrepid band?
Yep.
Why don't we enter one of these arenas? It could serve as a useful practice. We could get used to each other's combat style. You could see what I can do. I can see what you can do in a setting that we can choose not to be fatal.
That makes good sense to me.
Reasonable.
I think we should do that. I also think we should find a guide into the marshes,
Oh.
Yes, that's a good idea, Rick.
which is where we're going to have to... I assume that during yesterday we talked about
What the plan was.
Osler in general.
Yeah,
Sure.
Fiddleton.
You have
Brought you
2.
up to where we're at.
All right. Also, on another day, I could cast a spell to get more information on him.
Oh, all right. We'll have to do that on another day.
I was gonna say, yeah, because commune is a ritual?
I don't have commune. I don't think.
I don't know if you could get it. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I wasn't sure. This is also a shop or a town where this is a major metropolis, right? So this is a place where one could find shops that would sell or purchase varying things of the magical degree. This is also a place where one could pawn off things that they may have acquired that you couldn't normally sell in mixed company, right? If you have stuff you want to put on a black market or shady things, cursed objects, that kind of a thing. Easily stuff you could sell or find here if that's something you would be interested in doing.
Alright,
So along those lines, there's people that are also willing to pay you to go acquire items of questionable intent, or here's the thing, I want you to get this item. I don't care how you get it. Get me this item and you get paid. Whether that's you slaughter everybody or you just go in and steal it. That kind of a thing.
I don't think I'd do either of those.
Well, that's,
If something needed to be stolen, I could help.
Yeah,
I'm
but
very
for money.
sneaky.
If it helps the cause.
It
Okay.
seems morally
Well,
ambiguous.
that's fair, but we're gonna try to avoid it.
If it's just.
I was just letting you know what my skills are. I've dabbled in some skullduggery.
So that's where your son got it from.
Actually, no. Ironically, I hid that from him.
Alright, so
Well,
we grab a
pass
quick
through
cup of
anyway.
coffee,
It did.
find, wave a better shield, and go
Yep.
to the arena. 2, 3.
Did we leave the armoire?
Yes. I thought we
I
did.
think that was the plan, yeah.
Yeah, well, we talked about doing it, but we never said that that's what we've done. So I just wanted to double check.
Right.
So
Do
what
you
magic?
want to leave it? Do you want to keep it
Yeah, I don't care.
with us?
Well, if we're gonna go do some magic item shopping, I just wanted to figure out what we got to sell.
Well, we have the
Okay.
rope snake.
Yeah, I guess we. I do kind of like it.
All right,
Yeah,
you can give me
hurdy-gurdy.
the hurdy-gurdy.
Who can use the hurdy-gurdy?
None of us can use the hurdy-gurdy.
I think you all can.
I think we all can, but it goes off your charisma mod.
Oh, I'm not. That's my thing.
Actually, I don't remember if it. I have to see because I can't remember if it has a set DC or it might be like it uses your spellcasting mod
Hurdy-gurdy.
or
Your turn to there. You can play it as an action. Following spells. Your spellcasting modifier for using the hurdy-gurdy is charisma.
Ooh. -1 for me.
No.
you also have a
Positive
healing
one
potion.
for me.
Sweet.
Oscar.
It's not great, but it's positive.
It's better than nothing.
Well, yes, but if you wanted to, that might be something that could be bartered for a shield, for wave.
We have the snake robe.
Sure.
Anything else? What other magic items do we have that we're not using?
I have the Titan Blade.
I don't want you to lose that though.
That'd be.
That's a classic magic item. I'd
But-
rather get rid of the armor.
But the Titan Blade get you some serious cash.
I have some trinkets.
I was gonna say you also have the belt of +2 daggers.
Yeah, but I kind of wanted to save that for Oz.
That's fair. It would be very nice.
See him again. I have my Constitution amulet that nobody's using.
Roscoe
Oh.
might.
Did you say Constitution amulet?
Yeah, this thing. I guess I was wearing it, just not tuned to it.
All right.
Check it out.
If you're not going to use it, do you mind if I do?
No, knock yourself out. Hello.
This will look great with my outfit. And then I'm gonna focus real hard, and then my handlebar mustache is gonna grow longer, and it's gonna big beard poofs out, so I can hide my necklace.
What color is the beard?
Today it is going to be it's gonna be all black with just like one skunk stripe of white hair. It goes down like this side.
All right.
How do you do this?
like this, and the whole thing pops back in. Ha.
Oh, it
Something
absorbed
you
in?
do?
Yep.
I don't like that.
Why?
I-
Is it something you learned? Is it a natural ability that you have? There's
Yes.
so many questions.
I know, and I was letting you get them all out so I could answer them.
Okay.
Would you like the answers?
Yes, please.
Yes. It's because I'm magic.
Oh.
Yeah.
You should teach Nibbles how to
It's
do
a
that.
simple answer.
Rat beard.
Nibbles is really more focused on cheese-based magic.
Cheese beard.
Don't
Yeah,
say it too
hair-based
loud.
magic.
He'll get too excited. All right. So,
Take out my
Did you
Fu
just
Manchu.
attune to that in like 3 seconds?
what? No.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna take me an hour.
No, well, it just seemed like I was just confused, that's all.
I attuned you to it in D&D Beyond.
Thanks.
What does the glasses say about him?
What was your constitution before?
16.
Oh, okay, so this is significant.
Yeah.
10 extra health, and
10
that's good.
is what the monocle says.
Well, what's that all about?
He has the same number as us.
You're very bad at whispering.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Oh, no one's told you. Oh, I could hear you perfectly when you were whispering to him right there.
What do you mean?
Your voice didn't get any lower, it just got raspier.
What do you mean?
Okay,
Oh, we'll work
I
on
didn't.
it.
I didn't whisper.
that I have that we could
I
sell.
know.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Dust of Dryness,
Okay.
the Lantern of Revealing, which is neat to have, although Roscoe kind of fills in that
Yeah.
niche right there.
Wait, what does the Lantern of Revealing do?
Reveals invisible creatures. Bullseye lantern that reveals invisible creatures.
Well, I can only do one of those eyesight things at a time. So if we're going into a dungeon, so you weren't upstairs. When my 10th level ability, I can see. I have basically it's called Third Eye. I can either have dark vision, see into the ethereal plane, or see invisible creatures within 10 feet of me. So if we're like going into a dungeon, I might and I can swap it on a short rest. I might switch over to like dark vision or something like that. So the
Right.
Lantern of Revealing could still be useful depending on what mode I'm in.
Okay, so we'll keep that. But we could definitely, we have the Dagger of Sacrifice.
Mm.
I think we can
Unless somebody
sacrifice
wants to use
Not
Is it
particularly.
DC 15 con save or does 3d6?
Poison.
I don't know what kind of do. I have con. DC 15 con save or 3d6 con.
Poison.
I think it's
So-
poison. I'm pretty sure it's poison.
0 HP, it devours
That makes
the soul.
sense.
Yeah, it's basically a dagger of venom, except if it drops someone to 0 HP, it devours their soul and sends it somewhere.
So that's
Totally
something
not-
that,
Not
I
a
mean-
bad thing to do.
yeah, it's a bad thing to do.
No,
It's
no,
not
it's
a
great.
bad thing to sell to somebody.
Not here. People will buy it.
Oh, well, yeah, I know. Morally, it's wrong to sell it to someone, though.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, but we also have the Staff of the Rat King,
Oh,
Ah.
Yeah.
which might be worth something.
Diego.
I mean, you could have the staff of the Rat King because you're fully attuned currently. Then.
Yeah. I like what I got.
I mean, the other two are.
They're
But-
good.
Yeah.
All right, so those are the
Nice.
things that I have to sell.
So is that? Do you want to do that first? Do you want to go shopping first, and then try and find a fight, or do you want to?
Yeah, it makes sense to me to try and get Pat a shield before we go in.
Like, yeah.
Who's Batman?
Cool.
Cool. Roscoe, lead the way. You're the guy who knows things that you don't. So find us a shield, bud.
Well put. And I will lead the way. Well, if you were thinking about selling any of your more dubious items, I would take you somewhere else. So,
Only how dubious.
well, you mentioned the dagger of sacrifice.
Yeah.
If you're looking to sell that, I have to take you somewhere very different.
I don't think I'm gonna want to sell that here. I
Okay.
just don't like the idea of devouring souls.
Okay. Then
I might put that in the armoire.
I will take you elsewhere. So I will take them to a shop of some kind that sells magic items, if that place exists.
Okay. So towards the lower half of the city, kind of more towards the water, is what is colloquially referred to as the lower city. Things are a little more tight packed here, kind of where you guys landed in the middle here. Actually, I guess you would have landed in a temple
Mm-hmm.
more than not. So we'll say, and you said you don't partake in a specific temple.
Correct. Polytheist.
So we'll say the High House of Wonders, which would be a temple in the upper city to Gon, the Wonder Maker, the
Mhm.
god of inventions and things of that nature. So we'll say that that's where you ended up. And we'll say that you left, and we'll spare the goings on within the temple for the expediency of getting to where you guys want to go. So up here, kind of in the upper city, it's a lot more. This is like the nicer part of, again, we're thinking Gotham City here. So the nicer part of Gotham. Not quite like so separated as you would be like for Wayne Manor, but like a little bit of a nicer area. And then you kind of head down into the more seedier-ish parts of the lower city. And you would know, because this is more your speed of things that you would have probably encountered, there's a place called Sorceress Sundries, which
Fancy.
is
Yeah.
a magic shop that
Okay.
would sell kind of spell components and things required of that, but also magical items. So definitely a place you could pawn off things, not necessarily specifically tied to weapons and armor. There are places like that you could get to, but this is probably more of the speed of the stuff that you would have encountered on the more
Okay.
regular.
And it's a good place to start.
Correct.
Cool. We go there.
Sorry. So you make your way to Sorceress Sundries, and here you can go inside, and it is it's a circular building, and it's circular building and like a domed roof,
Mhm.
and the roof basically from you maybe got like a 10-foot high wall. And then the dome is all stained glass that comes to the top there. So it is kind of an orange and blue mottled stained glass that kind of provides the top there.
Like that.
Yes. So you guys go inside and you can see it's got a nice, you see the light kind of coming through from the sunlight here, and it's kind of dancing around, and it has this really cool effect, this orange and as you kind of get inside, you can see that it seems the way the light is kind of moving around through the glass, it almost seems as though it's moving. It's not, maybe it is, you don't know, but it seems like it is, and it has this really cool effect. It also gives you much of a more sorcery, magic-y vibe. It kind of smells of incense here in the shop as you walk in, and you can see there are basically rows here in the shop that are tinctures and potion bottles and little boxes that you can open up that have little things inside them. And up kind of towards the back opposite side of where you're walking in, there is a glass counter, display cases in it. And they kind of go up basically up the 10 feet walls, and there is kind of one of those ladders that'll swing around the outside to kind of get up to things on higher shelves. And there are people about in more wizardly sorcery types, long flowing robes of different kinds and different races. Again, this is you see a pretty big mixture of different, races in here. It's everything, you've got tieflings and orcs and halflings and gnomes and humans and elves and people just all about their day shopping. Then you'll see there's little like, almost, like, I guess it's more, this is like Ministry of Magic inter-office memos, like papers kind of like flying in and going in and out like in paper airplanes. And that's what you see.
Cool. This would also be a good place to try and get one of the sending boxes you guys were talking about.
You would
All right.
Yes,
That makes
that's absolutely true.
sense.
Cool.
So, I'm good with all the things I have, so have fun. Be on your way.
All right, fair enough. I walk up to the counter.
Okay. And you can see behind the counter is a male human wizard, your typical graybeard type wizard, long blue robes, gray beard, deckard cane type. What?
Like Ian Sid.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Good morning. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I got a couple of magic items I was hoping to sell, and I was also hoping to have a little bit of help locating a magical shield.
Well, you've come to the right place. Show me what you've brought. And he he'll roll out sort of like a velvet kind of piece of cloth over top of the counter. You see the counters are probably about 18, maybe 24 inches deep. And he kind of rolls it out to have you place the items there in front of him.
All right. First, I'll put down the dust of dryness.
And you'll see he'll kind of look at the little pouch and he'll sniff it a little bit and he'll pull out a little monocle and he'll squeeze it like a jeweler's loop almost. And he'll inspect it. And I need this book. And I tell him, and he says, no use for water in a place where it's not normally found, I see.
That's true. You're right. Yeah. Do you have any interest in buying it?
And he says, yes, I could perhaps purchase this from you. It's not a particularly rare magic item, but we could do business. Something in the range of perhaps 250 gold pieces.
I'm gonna look over to Roscoe because he's magic and be like, raise one eyebrow.
I will cast message and be like, that's kind of about what you're gonna get. You might be able to get a little more if you bargain.
All right. What if I threw in this and I'll throw the staff of the Rat King on the table?
That's a rare find.
Stay a while. Let me identify.
And listen.
What you selling?
That's the different shop that has that guy.
Different guy, little seabeard.
Definitely more of the Undercity guy.
Diablo, the Lord of Destruction.
See, I was thinking the Merchant of Death from Resident Evil 4.
No, I know you were thinking that, but
Yeah.
he's more of your Undercity type.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me look that up. Let me get the Xanathar's book here though to see if we can buy it. Stop giving them ideas, chat. We're not gonna let you guys. What?
We got a spy in the chat now. We got Jake.
No, he's not there. He can't handle it.
No, yeah, my computer is lame. Can't do it.
Can't handle it, man.
Oh, you know what I was just thinking that I'm not going to do because Rick's not a bad person?
Yeah.
Let's do dagger.
Once it leaves your hand, though, it would disappear after a little while, so you wouldn't be able to sell it.
I'd be able to do one quick then. Back alley deals.
Yeah, maybe. I guess that's true. All right, what would that sell? So Jake, go ahead and roll me a persuasion check, sir.
Rick's good at this.
Wave's gonna guidance for 3.
Hey, I rolled a 16. Minus 1 plus 3. 18.
18, you say? Okay.
Is anybody good at this? No,
Not anymore.
not anymore. Sorry, you're smart at this stuff though.
Persuasion?
Yeah.
You're gonna +5.
Not too late. You're not selling things, though.
Oh.
And he says, this is Quite a rare find. I've never seen something like this before.
Yep, it's fresh from the Rat King himself.
'Cause I don't know who that is.
Well,
But I'll take your word for it.
That he had a magic staff.
And he says, I'll give you 2,000 gold pieces for the staff.
Alright, before we do that, before we make a gold money type deal, do you have any shields available?
He says, let me check the back.
Means his butt.
Does not mean my butt.
Totally does.
Let me check your butt for you.
You don't want Rick to check that.
Get a mud. Oh, did Rick put his armor back on?
I assume. In the day it happened. He likes Rev, he don't like him that much.
No, fair.
Yeah, certainly before we teleported, I put it back on.
So is this wizard farting around?
God damn it, Pat.
Oh, that's funny because I can't smell it. You know what the crazy thing about smell is?
It's particulate?
Yeah.
Shut up.
You guys are breathing in Pat's fart.
I would, Pat, can I ask you a favor?
Sure.
Don't roll the metal die on the table.
Sure.
Just roll it down there so it doesn't ding it up.
Okay.
Because that thing is not soft.
Sure.
Tis beefy.
Tis beefy indeed. Let me see what items this gentleman has. You guys have good ideas though in the chat. I am a fan. They suggested that you should give Nibbles the staff. Have Nibbles attuned to the staff and become.
That's too much power for Nibbles.
The
Me and Sean talked about giving somebody something with too much power. It was bad. It's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea. I think first Roscoe is going to teach Nibbles how to read. Because how is he going to read and write in a spell book if he can't read and write?
That's a very good point.
So that's step
We'll
one.
have to get him like a tiny little ink thing that he can dip his finger into his nail.
A little rat claw.
Yeah. Scrolling around.
And he says, well, we have 3 magic shields.
That's good.
Puts one on the table. It has a face on it. It's a happy. Actually, yeah, it's like a very neutral face. Like a straight line emoji. He has a shield that seemingly has like a circular spiral in the middle that almost looks like a spring that's been like compressed inside the shield itself. And the third shield is a grieving human face.
Oh.
They're all magic.
Reminds me of Rev.
Can you describe what these shields do, please?
And he says, well, this one makes...
Oh, it's Eddie.
He's not there yet. He's close, though. He says, this one can also make... Well, this is for this guy, right? And he says, well, if you take it and put it on, you can make it change its face
Oh.
Look at that.
to be whatever you want.
That's great.
And
It's magic.
Yeah.
Nope. That's a terrible shield.
He says, but not attunement.
Oh, that still doesn't make it a good shield.
He goes, if you fight a rust monster, you're going to sing a different tune.
Not with this armor, I'm not.
True, but with that shield you will. And he points to the metal shield that Wade has.
Oh, yeah. No. We're going to get him a magic shield, just a better one than that one.
He's just like tuts and he pushes that one to the side. And he says, this one can push back people. When they're... Yeah, it can repel people backwards when they're up to 15 feet away.
Well, that sounds useful.
Are these +2 shields?
He says, what's that?
Shields.
I'm not telling you. You don't know. You're at a shop. He's not going to tell you all these things.
Good point.
And why would you jump to +2 is what I would give you. You don't even have a +1 shield right now.
Yeah. I can go for a +1 then.
Yeah, I
Plus
know.
anything, really.
He was reaching. It's fair.
It
Is it a
says-
Start
+3
high
shield?
so that he can bargain to
What?
the actual thing.
Is it a +6 shield that does 2d12 damage?
That's what I'm looking for.
It says keep looking. Then he says this one's also supposed to help with increase your defensive capabilities slightly, but it requires attunement.
Hmm. That's a tough one.
I guess.
Was that the crying woman shield?
No, that was the spring shield.
Okay. What's the last one?
And he says this one. He says you look like a kind of person who fights up close with your friends, and he points at Brina and Rick. And he says this shield increases in defensive capability the more allies around you. Also attunement.
That's a neat shield.
He says yes, quite rare even.
How much for that one?
Do you have any attunement slots open?
Nope.
Not yet.
Pat, what are you attuned to right now?
Yeah.
Chill plate, Valeguard's glory, and the necklace of
That text in front.
anti-scrying of amulet of
Protection.
protection of.
Proof against detection.
I guess if
That's the
once we get close, you could switch shields at that point.
Yeah,
But that's a dangerous game.
it is.
Get rid of that necklace.
Yep.
Yeah.
Roll me. Somebody gonna try and let's see. Nope. Well, you're asking there, Patrick. So go ahead and roll me a 2d10.
$15.
Okay. Then roll me a persuasion check.
I'm going to use a charge.
Okay.
I'm going to use another charge.
Those are race charges.
Oh boy, that wasn't better. Persuasion.
Pumped because I have lucky again.
Mm.
And I have lucky.
13.
What?
13.
I have two abilities called lucky.
Oh.
The feat and the halfling ability.
Oh.
The halfling ability is you reroll once.
So why would you need? Oh, other lucky is just.
And he says, well, let's see, what's the price on this?
Plus with portent, you should never do poorly.
Well,
Or I can do poorly whenever I want.
Or you can make someone else do poorly.
Yeah. That's one of the goals.
I'm going to say, sir, you look like a good fellow. So I'm just going to go right ahead and say it. We are members of the Valeguard, and we protect our area where we're from. And we're currently on a mission or quest to stop a great scourge. And this is, I believe, going to help us greatly along our quest. And, well, we'd be in your debt if you helped us out.
and he says, that sounds great, but I run a business. So no.
How much is this shield?
He hasn't told him yet, but he's trying to bargain with him already before he's told him the price. And went with we're saving the world, so give it to us
For free.
for a deal.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, 10,000 gold pieces.
Oh, goodness gracious.
He says, and that's a steal.
No, it's a price.
It does sound like a price.
We'll definitely have to think about that.
You would know, Mr. Magic. Maybe an Arcana check, actually.
19.
You would know that that you're not too sure. You don't know exactly the specifics of how this item works, but you've seen things of seemingly similar rarity go for anywhere between the 2 and 20,000 gold piece range.
Okay.
So
it's right in there.
Yeah. And, I mean, maybe this is worth more, and he is truly giving it to him for a steal. You also know that means there's a little room, a little leeway, possibly to bargain, depending on the scenario. But yeah,
I'm gonna turn around, walk away, message that to you, so
All right.
you know that that's not an unreasonable price, but you might be able to bargain him down a little bit.
How much for the pushback
This is the
shield?
first shop we went to. There could be another shop
It's true.
with a standard shield that only provides extra defense and it's not attunement.
We could go try. Shall we?
Yes.
All right.
That makes sense to me.
Thank you for showing us your wares. We will be on our way. We may be. Oh, before we leave, we would like one sending box, please.
and that is going to be 50 gold pieces.
All right.
I'm gonna sell him this stuff too for the 2250
Okay.
for the dust and the staff.
Okay. Go ahead. That works then. You have that.
Cool.
Alright, cool.
To the kind sir, could you direct us to a shop that would have a wider variety of magical arms and armaments?
And he says, well, I could, but that's also driving business away from me.
Well, we're not gonna buy these shields anyway, so you're not losing anything.
In fact, you would only be gaining our respect.
And trust.
And he says, that doesn't put food on the table.
Alright.
Future
All right, so
customers
then
for
let's
your
just
ourselves
leave
then, I
it.
guess.
We'll just leave and go find a place.
Right?
We're going to another place anyway. So.
Yeah. So you guys leave. And he doesn't give you directions to a competitor.
Alright.
So, yeah. Now you guys are in the streets trying to find another shop that may or may not have magical arms and armament. So this was like one of the primary locations that you went to, because this is primarily a magic shop. You know, the place that sells really high-end soaps and cosmetics.
Ah,
Probably not going to have what you're looking for, but you know of that
but
place.
I know that that place exists.
That exists also in the more high-end district, kind of to the north from your current location. Let's see here. You okay?
Yeah, no, that was the baby.
I figured.
Yeah. Baby's
That's-
up.
That's why I asked if you were okay.
Oh no, yeah, he's just getting a bottle right now. So he was
Aw.
just temporarily upset.
Gotcha.
You would know. Let's see. You would know that in the. Let's see. You know of a slaughterhouse, but they're not probably going to sell too much in the way of weapons, but
Fair.
meats.
You like meat?
They're also here. I should also point out that this, you would know that kind of, there is a massive underground city, like a series of cellars and tunnels and things that kind of has a whole underground network underneath the city. Typically, again, that would be where you'd find probably your places to worship, not the most commonly the good gods, like for people who have nefarious joys, gods to worship, as well as where your thieves guild, your underground fighting rings, and things like that. And you know that there is a place kind of right near the start in the underground, potentially may have something. It's supposedly a weapons and armor shop, not necessarily known to carry magical things, but known to carry, arms and armament
Mm-hmm.
called the Dancing Axe. That may be something to look into.
You can check that.
Sure. So a good place to start.
But it may be slightly shady, nefarious.
It's okay.
All right.
I don't think anybody's gonna try and pickpocket me.
That
You would
may
think
be
that.
true.
But I guess we'll
Cool. Let's head out.
see.
Cool.
You're walking out with a big fat sack of gold now, so.
But we hide that shit.
Walking around with a big fat what?
You said you just walked out of the shop with 2,000 gold pieces,
Yeah, that's true.
so you never know.
Tucks it deep into his chest hair.
Did you trim your chest hair after the curse ended? I forget.
He didn't trim anything.
That's true. He's just a big old fuzzball.
Well, I'm just gonna put it on the inside of my armor in the bag.
Okay.
Cool.
So yeah, you guys head through the city. You can hear again the smell of coffee everywhere. You can hear kind of cheering and things from as you guys are walking past a local one. Not right next to it, but you're walking past one of the arenas. You can hear like raucous cheers and things coming from inside one of the arenas nearby.
I will warn you, it's been quite some time since I've gotten into a scuffle. I may be a little rusty.
All right, fair. Should you know whether or not you would be rusty?
Well, I feel like, and you would know this better than anyone, Rick, that you don't really know how you're going to be in combat until it happens. I've been practicing my spells, so they'll go off without a hitch. But still, when the adrenaline's pumping, my old creaky bones, we'll see what happens.
I know, but like, you're the wizard who knows things that you don't know yet, so you should know whether or not you do well or not.
Well, I don't. Do you?
But yeah, I always perform.
That old Rick hubris.
Yep.
Yeah, so let's see. What else? You would see as you're kind of walking through, heading further down because into the lower city, there is kind of a large but kind of plain and unassuming shrine to Ilmater, kind of here in the lower part of the city. This is, a sketchier area. There is also crime, and a god to, a shrine to a god of endurance through suffering kind of is fitting here in the lower parts of the city.
Is there anybody around it?
I mean, you see occasionally people, down on their luck or seemingly not super well off, just citizens and civilians kind of will walk up and stop for a second and maybe say a quick prayer and move on.
Anybody that goes up and says a prayer, I'm gonna just stuff some coins in their pocket. Just walk up to them, praise Ilmater.
Make me a sleight of hand check.
Well, I want to let them know I'm doing it. I'm
Yeah,
up
he's
to
not doing it subtly.
I'll come
Okay.
up to them and be like, "Here, praise Ilmater. Here, this is for you. Take this."
Okay.
He's giving him the old pat on the back. Here you go. Shake your hand. Here's some money.
In the name of the Valeguard.
He's like a 1915 New York City politician.
Okay. So this half elf is just well, all right. And he takes the coins and he walks away 10 steps. And he walks backwards to the shrine and he's like, praise Ilmater. And he looks to you for more coin.
I was gonna give him 20
No, he does that.
20 gold coin.
And he walks away and he comes back to the shrine and he goes, praise Ilmater. And he puts his hand out waiting for more coin.
Go out and help the other people that are enduring without.
And he says, sure. And he walks away.
Okay.
One time deal, dude.
Come
Well,
back with a mustache. Praise Ilmater.
I'm a mustache.
I put my Fu Manchu on. we can all play this game.
Well, that was strange.
I thought you got rid of your Fu Manchu.
No, that was my nose hair Fu Manchu. I got a fake one as a trinket that I can put on.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I concentrate real hard, make a Fu Manchu that's just a little bit longer than Brito's.
You can also see down by the docks there is a full-blown temple
Shoot
to
my arrow.
Umberly,
So short.
who you would know is not a good god. Also known, called the temple is known as the Water Queen's House. Umberly, also known as the Bitch Queen, she's the queen of the ocean and kind of an evil deity of destruction.
No, she sounds like the worst.
She is,
We're staying away
but
from her.
you
We
know,
almost just died on the ocean.
true. But that's kind of like a thing that sailors do, right? Like you don't want to anger her. She's an evil goddess who rules over the sea, but like at the same time, like. Like, I don't want to worship you, but I will beseech you and maybe throw some patronage into your things. Like, don't fuck with me, though.
Please don't hurt me.
Yeah, basically. So that's kind of how that works.
Yeah, like what you're paying like a
Protection money.
money.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
She's the worst. I hate her.
Yeah, but, whatever. Yeah, your ship probably didn't do that. They were too busy praying to Bahamut. See how that worked out?
Yeah, that's true.
You should also probably send that message soon. Once you figure out how to tell them what happened.
I figure we can do that later tonight.
Your tale is unusual.
Plus, I wanted a little bit of privacy for when they respond. So probably in room.
Quite.
You guys see, a handful of coffee shops. You do see an inn nearby, a rather modest 2-story inn called the Splurgeon Sturgeon. We've got a lot of fish humor here down in the south.
Nice.
They got jokes.
Yeah.
It's you would know. You have never probably stayed there. It's rowdy.
Humor coy.
Oh, you would also know that dad jokes and puns are huge into Thayer.
Oh,
They love
great.
those.
That makes so much sense.
That goes over real well. But no, it's kind of it's a seedier, rowdy, cheap to stay at, but rowdy kind of a bar. There are nicer places and there are other taverns and inns to stay at, but this is like a common sailor bar right near the water. Anyway. So yeah, down kind of in the seedier area is where you would find one of the more commonly known entrances that leads to the Undercity. There are other ones, but usually kind of people want to keep those more under wraps in case you need to get up and out. You have a secret passage or things like that, maybe in basements of other buildings or things like that. The common known sort of main entrance is down here by the water.
Cool.
I have to start taking these toys away from you again, Sean.
I get.
He's fidgety.
I'm fidgety. I'll bring my cube.
So yeah, you can see the entrance that leads down there, and it is sort of there is sort of a spirally stone staircase that you could get the feeling that again in the dark this could be pretty sketchy. So it's sort of like you've got kind of your docks are over here. I'm gesturing, Jake. I know you really can't see that, but you've
I
basically
can see your hands peeking out.
Anyway, we did have a break. PD, you just missed it. The break was earlier. So essentially, the spiral staircase is almost down by the water. So as it's kind of curling around, this outside edge is almost open to the water.
Oh.
So like if you were here in the dark and got shivved, whoop, right in the water. And then it kind of, as it curls around, it sort of comes and then it goes back into the city kind of at the water level, and it'll start to go into a tunnel where it'll open up into a larger sort of underground tunnel system where there is kind of like, as you kind of make your, I'm assuming you guys are going.
Yeah.
So you kind of make your way down. It's midday, so probably not too much to worry about the daytime shivving. You make your way into the kind of tunnel, and it's sort of as you kind of come into the, heading back almost to where you would imagine probably right underneath where the splurging sturgeon is.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of it starts to open up, and it's sort of like what you would imagine every movie depicts the New York City sewer system to be like. Really
Yeah.
big open
Mhm.
expanses where people like the Ninja Turtles could live, but you can't actually have that. And then you can see tunnels leading off in different directions. But this sort of main thoroughfare is almost like a bazaar, like a kind of open air, not open air, but
Yeah.
open air market, as it were, where there's little shops and vendors, and then there's different tunnels that lead off to the more well-known areas. And you would know from here, basically the first tunnel to the right will be where the dancing axe is, and it's kind of carved out its own sort of building within the Undercity.
Nice. I will lead the way there.
And you guys can hear kind of the talkings and there's rats scurrying about and things here. You're in a sewer, but there's kind of people hawking wares and things out in the middle stand. Like eventually, like as you guys are making your way over there, like a really seedy looking half orc will kind of just like walk up to you. He's in a big black trench coat and he's like, "Hey, you want to buy some stuff?" You look like you want to buy some stuff. You know what I'm talking about. I know you know what I'm talking about. You want to buy some stuff?
Depends.
And he like opens up his coat, and there is a degree of paraphernalia in the inside of his coat. And he's like, "Yeah, I know. I can tell. I can see it in your eyes. Yeah, I know. You've seen some shit. You need this. You need this shit. I know. You know. And kind of like giving you guys all like weird, like looking at you, but he's like freaking out looking at the rest of them.
What's in his coat?
There are several small glass vials with different colored, very, very fine powder. In a variety of colors. There is a large, kind of like the top row, a very fine white powder. There are some little jars that have tiny little, almost crystalline rock type things inside them. There are a degree of different color and size and shape, some more plain, some with more filigree, of different kind of instruments that look more like spoons. Some of them are more like glass
This guy trying to
pipes.
sell us crack.
Yes, Jake, thank you for picking up
I
on
don't
that.
have any interest in that.
There's a bag on the bottom. There's like a sack that is very crimson in color. And he's like, "I know you want to buy this stuff. I can tell. You need it. What do you want? No? You sure? I think you do. I think you know."
What's your name?
He says, "I'm not going to tell you my name. My name's not important."
Alright, well then get lost.
He says, "All right." And he closes his
What about gouge relief?
He goes, "No one has that. Get out of here. You're crazy." That's why everybody's doing this stuff. That whole stock is gone. It's time to move on to the more interesting stuff. This stuff, you don't even know. They all have different cake. They all do different things. They all have that one effect that everybody wants, but some of them do other things. Magical things. But like, not just theoretical magical, like, whoa, no, like physically, magically alter you things. But he says, "But your buddy don't want any of it, so I'm out of here." And he just closes his coat and he walks away.
No one down here is going to give you their real name. Just as a point of fact.
He like
Oh,
pops back and he's like,
those
"He's right.
fake names.
This guy knows." He said, "Do you? You want some?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
All right. You look magic-y. The magic stuff.
No.
Get you what you need and also get you some other stuff."
Alright, scram bud.
The spiky dwarf is getting mad.
Yeah.
All right.
Rick's gonna take like a step toward him. Get out of here.
Get lost, punk!
And he just kind of gives like a side look to Brina and he's like, He walks away.
Ted Cooper.
And he's like, "Yeah, all right."
Well done, Brina. You have to stand up for yourself.
Maybe, Ash, maybe. They'll never
Be
know.
assertive.
Something fierce going on.
Damn right I did.
So, you guys see a door, a kind of stone door with a handle, and it looks like a circular door that it looks like it kind of like rolls kind of to the side. And there is a golden axe on this door with a little like music note next to it.
Yes. I'm gonna knock on the door.
Okay. You do. It's a very soft knock. No one seems to hear it.
I don't want dogs.
Yeah, that's fair. They're not gonna. They're all the way upstairs. It's fine. Yeah, Rick, you knock very softly, and Rick comes up and like what you would probably know is more like this is like how you do this. This is like the way, you gotta keep things kosher. So you're like very soft knock, and like almost nobody in your party can hear the audibleness of this knock. So Rick just comes up and bangs on the door, and then you're like, all right, and the door kind of like off to the side. And in here, you can see there is, this is more of your kind of generic kind of arms and armament shop. So it's got all of your kind of basic adventuring gear supplies, and there are racks with different armor and different kind of weapons and things like that on the wall. And you can see there's really nobody else in here. There is a single human proprietor who kind of steps back behind the counter after the door opens, and he says, "What?"
Here for a shield, if you got it.
He's, "Yeah, look." He points to a wall of shields. Different sizes, some small, some big tower shields, kite shields, bucklers, targes. What do you want? And it's gestures.
Kite
Magic.
shield, if you got it.
Kite shield? He says, "Yeah, I got one right here."
It's magic.
Is it magic?
Do you look?
I'm looking at it.
Oh, no, it's not magic.
Do you have any magic shields?
And he goes, I don't know.
You don't
Oh,
know.
can you check?
He goes, I don't know how to do magic.
You have magic eyes.
Oh yeah.
Are any of them magic?
Are any of them magic? I look.
Oh, that's a good idea. Let's find out. Buying a magic item. Okay, Wave, make me a persuasion check. Okay, roll me a d4.
2.
Roll me a percentile.
28.
Diane, one more time.
33.
So you look through most of his shop, and all you see in here that's pinging his magic are 2 potion vials.
Okay.
He goes, I deal in secondhand stuff. People come my way. He goes, I don't know anything about magic. If it comes in and it's magic, probably other people come and buy it because it's magic. He says, I got what I got. New goods come in all the time. People come in like yourself, selling and buying. And it is what it is. I buy and sell things based on whether or not what I think is a good price on them based on the workmanship. If it's magic, sometimes I get shafted, sometimes I don't. So probably should look into it, but business is pretty good so far.
Alright. Fair play to you.
It's a nice kite shield. It's quality workmanship.
Mm.
Look at that.
Does it look better than normal? Like, anything special about it?
It looks like a kite shield, which is not what you have right now.
That's true.
And it's blue.
Well, the shield I have now isn't blue.
What else do you need out of a shield?
A thought occurs. Why don't we try the arena maybe someone there
Hmm.
will be able to direct us. Another competitor, someone who runs the place. They might be familiar with magical arms and armament.
That's true. That's a good point. Also, if we see somebody with a magic shield while we're there, we'd be like, hey, where'd you get that shield?
We could.
It's true.
Or hey, can we buy that shield?
Both fair.
Try to.
How much for the blue kite shield?
And he goes, well, it is a really nice shield.
I'll trade you the shield I got too.
He goes, I don't want that shield.
So much for dealing in secondhand items.
He goes, fine. I'll take your shield and 5 gold pieces.
Done.
Okay?
It is a nice shield.
It looks nice. It fits him more. He's kind of tall. The round shield, we were surprised it provided as much bonus as it did to his defensiveness, considering the shield was this big and he's like this big.
Fair.
It would make more sense were Wave a more agile fighter that he could move around, but somehow he did the job.
All that training.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brickens.
Speaking of training, you would know, depending on where you go here in the city, there are supposed masters of most martial and simple weapons that can teach you where you to complete the training required, specific maneuvers that you could do with different weapons above and beyond the normal capabilities.
Okay.
So
there would potentially be like a flail master or a great axe master.
correct.
Or
That
a
would
fist master.
You're the fist master.
you guys are having this conversation still in the shop, and the guy goes, listen, honey, you don't want that guy. The rest of the party laughs. Rena maybe
Rena's like-
that joke.
Rena doesn't get that joke.
I don't get it.
That's okay. Shall we to the top side?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, I'm gonna look at the shop owner and be like, come on, why are you being so inappropriate in front of a kid?
And he goes, why are you bringing a kid down here?
That's a fair point.
And he goes, there's a guy outside. He's selling drugs. You
Yeah,
know
I
that?
know. I was ready to kick his ass. Ready to kick yours down too.
He goes, that's
That's uncalled for.
really uncalled for, yeah. He goes, but to be honest, the stuff, it's good stuff. Just throw my hand there.
Good stuff. Yeah. I
Good
get you.
stuff. He goes, no, like for real though. At one time, I could tell. I'm pretty sure I could tell if things were magical. Pretty sure.
Are there
Pretty
side
sure.
effects?
For like a little
remember
while.
that.
I mean,
That's good.
No.
Happy for you.
Rena? No.
What?
No.
I'm just
I leave.
curious. I'm not gonna do it. I'm
I
just
know.
curious.
I'm aware.
you can make me an Arcana check, Roscoe.
Woof. An 11.
That is enough to know that there are certain magical drugs. And depending on what kind there are, they basically grant, depending on the drug, can grant the user basically the equivalency of meta magic features.
Okay.
So, like, if you took a certain drug, it might give you for the length of the high that comes with it, like subtle spell or extend spell or things like that. There are also ones that may give you temporary access to sort of ongoing effects, perhaps access to things like minor illusion or detect magic,
Okay.
things like that, that to the people who aren't using them tactically could be a really crazy trip. Like all of a sudden you can now make illusions and you're high
Yeah.
and you're thinking of something and then you see it physically manifest in front of you.
Dislike.
Also
Thing-
dislike.
Yeah. It'd be too much, yeah.
But
But yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
so like
I'm not gonna tell
some
them
people, yeah, no, you don't have to tell them that,
Yeah,
but
no.
some people, you would know that in certain scenarios, there are people who would have groups of that, like of different kinds of drugs for that they would use for different uses, that when they would get into fights, whether it be arena, whether it be to go on missions, they would bring a supply of this to help in a certain scenario, right? Like if it's a stealth mission, perhaps getting slightly high, but then also having access to subtle spells so your magic doesn't make any noise could be a huge boon.
True.
And it's a, you know, a trade-off.
Yeah.
Is it worth it? Is it not? Kind of a thing.
Alright.
All right.
So
Well, still not doing the drugs though.
that's fine. I didn't say you had to.
Alright.
I know.
Let's,
you want me to.
Let's go topside and try and
I
find...
don't want you to do the drugs. I want Wave or Roscoe to do the drugs. Or
There's
Wave.
no range drugs, are there?
Well, actually, there is talk of a drug, and you would know this, that supposedly grants the equivalency of a barbarian's rage to people who do not have it, or an additional use for those who do.
Rage salts.
Basically, you're going high beyond the point of physical pain to the point where things don't affect you anymore or have half as much of an effect. So one could grant themselves resistance to certain things, and their sort of roid rage, if you will, that they have grants them advantage to physical striking abilities.
Ah.
So, like, if you were low on rages and were like, I could really use one right now, well, you could get one if you really need it. Exactly. Yep.
No, still no though.
If there's a wild place, man.
I believe it. Let's go to the arena. Roscoe, you got a nice, reputable arena that we can start at?
You know of arenas.
I know.
The reputation kind of comes and goes with management.
Yeah,
How about a non-lethal one?
Sure. Do you want to fight other people or monsters?
Let's fight a monster.
All right. Follow me.
So the monster arenas, the thing with those is you can potentially, depending, they usually come in, give you like sort of a menu, if you will, of monsters to choose from. And they sort of have like a star difficulty level of how hard they are to fight. The higher difficulty, or you can tell, if you choose, you can pair some up together. Like if, let's say, I don't know, it was on a scale of 1 to 20, let's say, you could fight a level 5 kind of 5-star creature, which you guys might be a little better at fighting that, but you could pair up 2 5-stars or like an 8 and a 5 to get something a little stronger, increasing the amount of rewards you can obtain from that. And then again, it's you're fighting a monster, so typically you can choose to get more money and potentially more rewards by offering to not have sort of the clerical staff there on hand. Like you can have them there where they will come in and try to shut down the fight and they will stabilize and heal you. But if you were to go in and basically like we're in it, either we defeat it, kill it, which is fine. That's kind of why they can have and employ people to go out and get more monsters, because they're going to lose them. Plus, if people have already fought the thing one time, the crowds are less interested in seeing them fight it again. So if you go in with the thought like we're going to kill this thing and that's going to be the end of it, and we'll take the risk on ourselves, the rewards are higher than if like people will stop in if things are going south to heal you and protect you from dying, kind of a thing.
So even. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, start low, maybe work our way up.
Makes sense to me.
Test the waters a little bit.
Yeah.
Dip
Sure.
our toes in the pond.
Alright, so can we head to this arena?
Sure.
Can you do head to that arena? And you guys can take a look at the menu, and you can see a variety of different creatures. One of the things you can see on the menu is one 7-star creature, and it just says big spider.
Oh.
You can see another that is a 12-star creature that says Hydra, and there's an asterisk next to it that doesn't explain what the asterisk is.
No.
There is another 7-star creature that just says plant. Let's go with stinging plant. How about that?
Okay.
Interesting.
Is it a cactus or something?
Sure, let's go with that. You can see another one that says ooze. That's a 10-star creature.
Ooh.
And it says flying ooze.
Oh. Ooh.
So flubber.
There's another one that's a 6-star creature, and it says red ooze.
Okay.
What else do we want to throw in here?
So anti-flubber.
Before we do enter combat, I would like to take a short rest.
Chain
Makes
spells.
sense.
Fair.
No, recover spell slots. I can get my 5th level spell slot back if we take a short rest.
There is a 7-star creature that says sloth.
Always been more of a fan of gluttony myself.
And wrath, you seem to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got some vengeance to it.
There is a 9-star creature that says fire snake.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Let's fight that one.
Alright.
Want to fight the fire snake?
And
Yeah.
there is one that says that the star difficulty is not like listed in a number amount, but is basically like triple asterisk or like a triple X, and it has sort of an asterisk next to it and says like enter at your own risk, and it says 12 giant snakes.
Definitely not that.
No, not that. I can think of 100 good reasons not to do that one.
Yes, quite.
Seems like too many snakes.
Too many snakes, I agree.
Yep.
Alright, so let's take a quick
Fire.
rest and then fight a fire snake.
All right, cool.
Alright.
Can we go into the arena and maybe watch a fight while we take this short rest?
Sure, yeah.
Alright. I'm going to use the short rest to recover spell slots and to attune to the Amulet of Health.
Okay, you do that. In the arena that you guys are in, you watch a group of adventurers. Let me see if I have them all picked out here. That'll be a good question. Let's see if we got them. I have a list of NPCs somewhere. In the Evrand NPC campaign. Let's go find them. Okay. You see, yeah, there is a group of people, and they are fighting. What are they gonna fight? Let's pick something fun from here. Oh, sorry. Let me just find something that's slightly interesting. That's a funky one. Okay, yeah, you can see them fighting this weird kind of creature that looks... It's got like an owl's face with big lamp-like yellow eyes, but huge, almost bat-like ears. A thin, kind of corded, muscular body that looks almost like I guess you could say. I mean, it's a medium-sized creature. You could say it kind of almost looks like a big sort of greyhound body,
Okay.
but the front legs end in humanoid hands with opposable thumbs.
That's so weird.
And it has ridges down the back and a really long tongue that is about 10 feet long that has a sort of mouth on the end of the tongue.
Ugh.
Gross.
And it seems to be able to sort of flit in and out of reality, or at least move about quite a bit. And it seems to fight near the corners. This arena is an octagon in shape, and it seems to be able to only zip and teleport between the corners of the arena.
Interesting.
Alright.
And there is a group of 4 adventurers of different you see like a half orc, halfling, a elf, and a human, and they all seem to be. You see, one seems to cut themselves and enhance their weapon. Seems to glow with like a cold-like flame about it. One seems to be beseeching some sort of deity for assistance. One is wearing plate mail armor and wielding like a long sword with 2 hands. And the other one... What do I want to make this one? The other one... That is tricky. Is casting some kind of magic, but what's weird is they all seem to undergo some sort of physical transformation at the start of the combat, almost like what you've seen from like the werebears to the north, but they are all kind of fox-like humanoids when they transform. They still kind of keep their relative stature and things, but they are almost like, I guess your best bet you could say is like a were-fox.
Cool.
And they eventually, it's difficult, but they manage to defeat the foe in combat. And there's a cheering from the crowd, and everyone's excited, and they all sort of resume their original form, and they leave the arena.
Alright.
Cool.
And yeah, as you guys are gearing up to go into your combat against a fire sneak, I think that's a good point to end this episode.
All right.
Alright. Yeah, we'll be able to start against whatever the hell the fire snake is.
That is correct. So hopefully
Snakes.
we will see how that goes next week. I will want to say thank you everyone who came in the chat. Thank you for the donations. And welcome to Roscoe to the party.
Yes.
And the interesting...
Big welcome. Thank you for putting up with my webcam situation. We'll try and find a better way to work it next week.
Yeah, well, the internet says you sound like really, really crisp. So
Good.
they were
Cool,
also
that's
impressed
great.
because they know Jake.
Can ask for more than that.
They know Jake avoids the technology typically, so they were very impressed that you were here in the first place in that aspect.
What can I say? Well, there's a lot of sacrifices that I'm willing to make for D&D. A lot of learning I'm willing to do in order to play it.
I thought you were gonna say you're a lot of sacrifices you're making for your family.
Oh, well, I'm doing that. But
You're doing both. You're doing both. I didn't know which one you would be talking about though.
That's true.
So again, I put a link there in the chat. Acquisitions Inc. book giveaway. Go check it out. It's going. The internet says it sounds like you're in a metal suit.
Ha!
There we go. That's actually perfect.
Yeah. So we'll be back next week to see how this party,
The new Valeguard.
the new Valeguard, which may or may not include Roscoe in the future. No one's asked him to join, though you do have an extra ring with you.
We don't know him.
I know you don't, but I'm saying you do have an extra ring if you choose to induct him inside.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe he'll just die to the fire snake. Talk about an anticlimactic fight.
No.
Party members dropping like flies.
It would be interesting that you can't fault me for this one because you literally would have chosen your own fate.
Yeah.
Because you picked this one to fight.
Yeah.
So if it goes south,
Yep.
I think I'll be okay for one battle.
I
would
would
hope
hope
Do you have
so.
absorb elements?
I do. I even have it prepared.
Oh, so that's a big step in the right direction.
That won't hurt. But my main combat cantrip is Firebolt.
And you got your wand that won't help here either.
Won't help at all. But I do have Chill Touch, and my cool funky hat lets me cast one other wizard cantrip a day. So,
Oh, okay, cool.
yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And also, you have a big old hand that you can smack around with.
I do. I can do that twice now.
Yeah, so that's
Awesome.
fantastic.
All right, Internet, thank you guys so much for watching. We will
Yeah.
catch you next week. Sorry again for no evil game, but we knew this was going to be a thing once Jack was born. But stay tuned once Bruce is born in, end of August for a whole month of evil game.
Woo!
So think you got that coming up.
Yes, it'll be terrible news for the evil team.
Yeah.
What? What does that mean?
Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's not what you just said. You just said a different thing.
Well, no, I think my microphone's cracking up.
I don't think it is. I think your microphone's working fine.
I think it with.
You're doing that with your mouth.
It's-
I can see you covering it.
What? I don't know.
Sorry, we lost you for a second. Are you there?
Yes, I can see you guys fine now.
Okay,
Is that
good.
better?
Oh, good. That was weird.
That was weird. I didn't like it.
Tune in for Evil Game. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, okay, good. I like that.
Hello, Jack.
Shake. All right. Good night, Internet.
Hey.